Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto use Emperor Haki in Chunin exams. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Ryu Kotei and link in the description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. New Nakama. Minato Namikaze and his wife, Kushina Uzumaki, were training their daughter, Yuzume Namikaze Uzumaki, in their family styles and how to control the power of the nin-tailed fox's chakra. "Alright Yuzume," said Minato as he sent another shadow clone to his daughter, keep at it. Unbeknownst to the family, a pair of cerulean eyes was watching them with cold sadness. Those eyes belonged to Yuzume's twin brother, Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. When the nine-tailed fox attacked, the third Hokage had sacrificed himself to seal the demon fox's chakra and soul into separate bodies. Yuzume was given its chakra, and Naruto was given its soul. Ever since then, Yuzume was given praised, while Naruto wasn't given anything at all. "Will I ever find happiness?" asked Naruto. "You will find it, Naruto," said a bellowing, ragged voice. "You alright, Kurama?" asked Naruto. Naruto met the soul of the demon fox, Kurama, when he was 5 years old, and over the period of 2 years, the both of them had become close friends. Kurama knew he couldn't hide his illness any longer. "Kid," said Kurama trying to settle his breathing, "just like everyone I cannot live without chakra. My body barely has enough chakra to alter the seal. I won't live to see the next morning with you." Naruto was shocked and saddened that his only friend that was with him for 7 years was going to die. "If you die," said Naruto as tears welled in his eyes, "what's going to happen to me?" Kurama couldn't handle seeing the only mortal that he viewed as a little brother so upset, so he came up with a solution. "I'm going to talk to the Shinigami," said the fox. "I'm going to see if he can replace me with 9 other souls. I know that they won't be like me, but I'm not leaving you alone. Naruto, I have always loved you as if you were my own kid." Naruto couldn't hold back his tears, knowing that he was actually going to lose the only person he considered family, even if it was a demon. "Could you read some stories for me, son?" asked Kurama. "Sure thing, father," said Naruto as he began reading a book from his shelf. Later that night, Naruto found himself in his mindscape that he and Kurama had built. Naruto looked around and saw the giant red fox before him, his one and only friend. "Hey there, son," said the fox as blood dripped from his mouth. Kurama was borderlining death as blood was dripping from his mouth and his breathing was ragged in a fast pace. Even his skin was pale enough to turn the fox's fur into a sickly pink color. "Daddy," cried Naruto as he hugged the fox's paw, "please don't go." "I am truly sorry, Naruto," cried Kurama as he wrapped one of his tails around the child, "there is nothing I can do to stop this." Each sob from Naruto tore at Kurama's dying heart as blood and tears fell from the fox's face. "The Shinigami has picked the 9 souls that will take my place inside the seal," said Kurama as he lied down. Do not think that they will force you to forget me. They are here to help you get through your life and train you to achieve your goal." Naruto ran to hug the fox's face and sobbed into the creature's fur. "I'm going to miss you, father," cried Naruto. Kurama weakly laughed and said, "I'll miss you too, son." The fox closed his eyes as its last breath left his lungs, drifting off into eternal slumber. Naruto soon felt empty and cold. The blonde turned and saw the very thing that not only sealed Kurama's soul inside him, but took him away. "The Shinigami. You bastard," cried Naruto as he slammed his fists against the phantom's chest. "You took the only one I actually considered a father away from me." The Shinigami shook its head and mumbled something about hating its job, and then said, "Naruto, I have already placed the 9 souls inside of you. You can meet them whenever you are ready." Naruto dried his tears and thanked the death god and vanished into his dreams. "Now I'm glad that I made that deal with Kurama," said the Shinigami. "That kid will need a family to keep him from breaking." The next morning, Naruto went into one of the forests that surrounded the village with a kunai. The boy began to carve into the tree and when he finished the side of the tree now read, "Here lies Kurama, the spirit of the 9-tailed fox. Though he was a demon, he was always a father." As Naruto spoke a prayer, a voice broke the silence. "Hello," said the voice, "is someone there?" Naruto turned and rose to see a pink-haired girl. "Can I help you, Sakura?" asked Naruto, catching the girl's attention. Naruto knew that the girl was Sakura Haruno, one of his sister's friends. "Yes," said Sakura walking up to Naruto. She was always curious about Yuzume's twin brother, Naruto, but Yuzume would always talk bad about him. "I was wondering what you were doing out here." Sakura saw the burning incense and realized what she had done. "I'm paying my respect to my father," said Naruto. Sakura was confused as she had just seen the 4th Hokage not too long ago. "Yes, my biological father is still alive," said Naruto with a solemn look on his face, "but he was never there like Kurama was." Naruto soon told Sakura about how ever since Yuzume had made contact with the fox's chakra at the age of 4 and how his parents had ignored him in favor of his twin. He then explained how he met the fox's soul and became quick friends only to lose him. He was always the father I wanted, said Naruto as he stared at the makeshift shrine, someone to say hey son, I'm proud of you or I'm here for you champ or even help pick me up after I've fallen. My real father had never done anything like that, but Kurama was always there whenever I needed him the most. Sakura's parents were hiding in the trees and heard everything that had happened and were saddened. A child's parents neglected him in favor of the other child, causing that child to view the soul of a dangerous demon as family and to lose such a connection. Both parents jumped down from the tree and before Naruto could run off, Sakura's father said, now hold on, we don't want to hurt you Namikaze-san. Sakura's mother enveloped the blonde boy in a hug and hummed a lullaby in the boy's ears. Naruto, said Sakura's father, I don't know how the nine-tailed fox's soul treated you, but after hear about your pain, I'm sure you'll miss him. Sakura's mother let Naruto go from the hug and said, if you ever need anything, don't be afraid to drop by. Naruto hugged both parents and then hugged Sakura. Thank all so much Haruno-san, said Naruto. Please, call me Kizashi, said Sakura's father, and this is my wife, Mipyuki. Naruto hugged the Haruno family again and then left. I hope that the child will be alright, said Kizashi as he watched the boy disappear into the shrubbery. Even though Kurama was the demon fox, said Mipyuki as she prayed at the shrine, I'm sure that even he had a heart to help the boy when he could. Just then, Sakura had a thought. Daddy, said Sakura, if the fox's soul passed on what will happen to Naruto? Both parents wanted to say that the boy would be alright, but neither of them had the heart to say that both Kurama's and Naruto's lives were connected. We can only pray that things will turn out alright, said Mipyuki. Back at the Namikaze estate, Naruto watched as his parents had yet again ignored his plea of having them train him and send him to his room. Naruto was remembering how the Harunos had offered comfort to him. I'm really going to miss Kurama, said Naruto as he lied on his bed, staring at the blank ceiling, I'm sure he's watching out for me, wherever he is. The boy soon felt a tug in his mind and decided to enter his mindscape and meet the new tenants. Naruto entered his mindscape and saw that he was standing on a ship in the middle of the ocean. He couldn't believe what he was seeing, but his thoughts were interrupted when he heard footsteps. Naruto turned around and saw a group that consisted of a straw hat wearing boy in his teens, a green-haired man with 3 swords, a girl with orange hair and a tattoo on her left arm by the shoulder, a long-nosed boy, a man in a black suit with bright blonde hair, a blue-nosed deer wearing red shorts and a pink hat, a woman wearing a purple outfit. The man with a metal nose and large forearms wearing nothing but a tropical shirt and a blue speedo, the horror, and a skeleton with a black afro wearing a ragged purple suit that showed his ribs. So you guys are the new tenants? Asked Naruto as he received a nod from the group. Name's Monkey D. Luffy, said the straw hat wearing boy. Urano is Olo, said the green-haired man. Nami, said the girl with the tattoo. I'm Yusuf, said the long-nosed boy as he puffed out his chest. The name's Zanji, said the blonde-haired man. Tony Chopper, said the deer as it transformed into a childlike hybrid of man and beast. I am Nico Robin, said the woman in the purple outfit. I'm Frankie, said the man with the metal nose as he got into a pose where his forearms were over his head and touching each other, and you must be our super host. I am Brooke, said the skeleton bowing, your memories have really touched my heart with such sadness, although I don't have a heart. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Skull joke. Naruto was completely shocked as he said the one thing that was on his mind, holy crap. A talking skeleton. Naruto soon felt a pair of arms wrap themselves around his body and saw that their arms sticking out of his shoulders. Relax, Naruto-san, said Robin with her arms crossed in an elegant yet odd way, what you see before you are our powers. Powers that you will inherit from most of us. The group then demonstrated their powers and abilities, much to Naruto's amazement. The only downside is that you can no longer swim, said Brook only for Naruto to shrug his shoulders. I can always walk on water once I get the technique down, said the blonde boy. The group told Naruto about how they reacted as they watched his memories and decided that if he needed any help to just let them know. Even though he lost his father figure, he gained a new family that genuinely loved him. He had never been any happier. Yeah, Sakura isn't a shinobi, but a good friend of Naruto who helps him out with his family problems. She may not be seen as much, but she does play a role in Naruto's life as a friend. Chapter 2. Changes and Regrets. 5 years had passed since Naruto had met the Straw Hat Pirates, and Naruto's life was going good at the moment. After meeting Sakura and her family, Naruto became quick friends with the pink-haired Banshee and became someone important to the Harunos. He would often spend some of his free time with them and get advice from both Kizashi and Mibuyuki on his training regimen. After some time, Naruto told the Harunos about his new tenants and the powers he inherited from them, which only made his training even more intense. After the Harunos, Naruto became fast friends with others, such as the Nara clan, the Akimichi clan, and the Inyazuka clan. Naruto also got an understanding of his new powers and skills. Over those 5 years, Naruto has trained in secret in both the ninja arts and his powers from the Straw Hats. Naruto's skills were above other prodigies like Neji Hyuga and Sasuke Uchiha, even though he was still overshadowed by Uzumaki. Naruto's relationship with his biological family never improved, only worsened. Even before Kurama had passed, Uzumaki was mean towards Naruto, as her ego was massive enough to rival an Uchiha's. She would show off all the skills she learned from her family by using Naruto as target practice. Naruto's parents still ignored him and pushed him aside, but what made it worse was that they had not only let Uzumaki sign the Toad contract before either of the twins were in the academy, but gave his title as clan heir to Uzumaki. The only person in Naruto's family that objected to the idea was his mother, Kushina, but she was soon overruled by the fact about Uzumaki being stronger than Naruto. Kushina at least had better odds of redeeming herself than the other two. Naruto never eased up on his training, not even when he got into the academy. What he gained from the academy had only further improved his skills. Usopp had helped him improve his throwing accuracy as Robin helped him with his studies. Naruto's nickname was Straw Hat Sniper, as his accuracy rivaled a Jonin's, and he was never seen without his lucky straw hat. Naruto's secret training was never known by anyone in the village, aside from those he had sworn to secrecy. Zoro and Heiichiko had taught him the Santoryu style and Kenjutsu respectively, with both teachers giving him the name Straw Hat Samurai. Sanji had taught Naruto his fighting style, which Naruto dubbed Chef-style Taijutsu. The Taijutsu style that focuses on agility and using one's feet as a sole form of offense and defense. Might Guy and Frankie helped Naruto train in his mech form, as well as physical conditioning. Shikamaru and his father, Shikaku, helped Naruto with his gum style, blossom style, and weather style, as well as battle strategies. The Inyazuka clan helped Naruto with his fox powers that he obtained from Chopper, combining his own powers with some of Kurama's energies that were left behind. Naruto actually had both Ibiki and Anko train him with soul style and keep it a secret from everyone, and Kurenai trained him in his Genjutsu art, song style. Naruto had also unlocked his Haki when he saved Hinata from being kidnapped, which soon led to a marriage contract between the two. Naruto soon became the Straw Hat prodigy, as his skills soon rivaled Itachi's and Kakashi's. Of course, no one needed to know about that. Naruto and his team, which consisted of Sasuke Uchiha and Uzumaki, had passed the real Genin test and were at the Hokage's office. "Daddy," cried Uzumaki, "when are we getting a real mission?" Team 7, led by Kakashi Hatake, had just captured the demon Hellcat, Tora, and even Naruto was itching to do something else, aside from doing some lazy villagers' chores. "I understand that you are eager to show off your skills," said Minato, "but you may not be ready for a higher-ranked mission." Before Uzumaki could throw a tantrum, Naruto stepped in and said, "Hokage-sama, we have performed enough D-rank missions to be trusted with a low C-rank mission. At least give us a chance to not only prove our worth, but improve our skills as well." Minato sighed at his own son, calling him Hokage-sama. Even though all Genin team had to have some level of professionalism, Minato had expected some slack from his own children. Uzumaki would usually address him as dad, daddy, or even father, but Naruto would usually address him as sir or Hokage-sama. "Why do you have to be this way, Naruto?" thought Minato as he regretted not giving Naruto as much attention as he did with Uzumaki. "Why do you never call me father or even dad at any time?" Ever since learning about Naruto's secret training from his Anbu, Minato and Kushina began questioning why Naruto would train by himself or with others from outside of his own clan. Minato had thought about confronting Naruto about this secret, but he soon began to fear of the consequences. Both he and Kushina admitted that they should have focused training both children instead of favoring Uzumaki just because she had the fox's chakra. He even thought that Naruto's attitude was some form of karma from taking some of Naruto's birthrights and giving them to Uzumaki. The worst part of it all was that neither parent knew a thing about Naruto aside from his lucky hat and his skills. He had some of the Anbu follow Naruto in his day-to-day life, with some of them reporting that Naruto prays at a makeshift shrine in the woods, while others came back with bags of ice on their privates, or even cringing at the thought of going back to watching Naruto. Have we really driven Naruto that far from us? Minato thought as he looked back into the past. "Sensei," said Kakashi, snapping Minato out of his thoughts, "our mission." Minato blinked and said, "All right. Team 7, your mission is to escort a bridge builder back home in the land of waves. Please bring in the client." The lightly drunk man entered the office and sized Team 7 up and said, "So my bodyguards include a cyclops, a red-haired brat, another brat with a tree branch up his ass, and a kid with a straw hat. Cool hat by the way." Naruto grinned as he was the only one who wasn't insulted as Team 7 and their client left the village. Minato soon returned home with a heavy mind and saw his wife in the kitchen. "How was work today, dear?" asked Kushina and saw the look on her husband's face, thinking about Naruto again. Kushina had also thought about the little blonde boy they pushed aside to train their daughter. "Yeah," said Minato as he let out a sigh, "I just sent the kids on their first C-rank mission." The bodyguard mission for a bridge builder from the wave. Kushina set the table for dinner as tonight was the first night of dinner between just the two of them. Do you doubt the team's skills? Asked Kushina. No, I don't, said Minato as he sat at the dinner table. What I do doubt is how we've treated our own children. I doubt what we've done as well, said Kushina as she placed the bowls of ramen on the table. Kushina considered herself lucky that Naruto at least talks to her, albeit very little, but it was a start. She had never seen him at his own birthday parties, even with him wearing the straw hat. But then again, when have I ever seen him? Kushina thought as she remembered all the time she had seen him, that's right, whenever he asks to train or go somewhere. Kushina needed multiple hands to count the facts about Uzum, but only one for Naruto. Am I that horrible as a mother? Kushina asked herself. After finishing their ramen, Minato and his wife decided to visit the little shrine Naruto goes to. When they had arrived, the parents saw that Naruto was just recently there as the incense was still burning. Kushina read the inscription on the tree and paled. Kushina, said Minato, what's wrong? Kushina pointed at the markings on the tree as they read. Here lies Kurama. The spirit of the nine-tailed fox. Though he was a demon, he was always a father. Naruto has met the nine-tailed fox's soul, said Minato, as the last line felt like a low blow to him, and he views it as more of a father than me. Minato couldn't understand what was before him as he read the inscription over and over again. Did the soul pass on? No, Naruto would have died by then, thought Minato as his mind was jumbled up from what was going on. Did Naruto and the fox become one? What happened to Naruto? Kushina felt the tears roll down her face as she scolded herself for turning her only son away and caused him to build a bond between the very fox that was once sealed inside of her. How could we have done this? Cried Kushina as she curled herself into a ball. Minato didn't have the answer as he was scolding himself for being so blind. I see you found the shrine, said a voice. Minato and Kushina looked and saw Sakura. Tell me Sakura, said Minato, hiding the fear in his voice, has the soul of the nine-tailed fox really passed? Sakura nodded and told the Namikazes about how she had Ino go into Naruto's mind and indeed the fox was gone. Naruto always visits the shrine he made for Kurama before his day begins, said Sakura, you should have seen the look of devastation that I saw him with on that day. How is Naruto still alive then? Asked Kushina. I'm sorry, said Sakura as she turned to leave, that is not for me to say. You should really teach Uzum some humility. After Sakura had left, Minato picked up his wife and the two of them left, but not before making a promise. To fix what they have broken. Chapter 3. Blades of the Demons. Naruto watched from outside of Haku's ice dome as Sasuke and Uzum was struggling against a hunter ninja. Naruto then saw through the thick mist and saw Kakashi's fight with Zabuza. Kakashi-sensei is alright at the moment, thought the blonde knowing that Kakashi can easily handle himself, but my teammates could us arrest. Naruto used the substitution technique and switched places with both Uzum and Sasuke. Haku was puzzled about this new fighter that had entered her ice dome and asked, why did you switch places with him? Naruto looked at the hunter ninja and said, for two reasons. 1. The fight was getting boring, what with it being one-sided. 2. I need to test my power to honor my father's final wish to become strong on my own 2 feet and protect those I hold dear. Haku began her assault on Naruto, only to soon discover that almost all of her senbon needles made contact in a graceful, yet weird-looking, fashion. Don't tell me you're a one-trick pony, said Naruto as he crossed his arms. Haku felt a weird force hold her arms out, legs still, and made her hand incapable of performing any seals or grasping any senbon. She looked around her and was surprised to see multiple pairs of arms holding her in place. Is this some sort of jinjutsu? Haku thought as she struggled to break free. This is no jinjutsu if that's what you were thinking, said Naruto with his arms still crossed, and to be honest, I didn't even think that my blossom style. Dao's prison fluor's jutsu would work on you. Oh well. Haku watched as more arms appear from all over her body. Blossom style, said Naruto as the fists closed, Dixepin's fluor's jutsu. Haku felt all sorts of pain from the attack as the arms unleashed their fury. The 4 arms at her sides threw punch after punch, aiming at her gut, arms, breasts and thighs as the 4 arms on her back had given her the most painful of all wedgies. The last 2 arms were playing a tug-of-war game with her hair as they pulled back and forth. Haku then felt her underwear begin to cut into her as she feeling like she would be sliced in twain by the very fabric. Haku had no choice but to get out of her ice mirrors and dispel the jutsu with the arms following. You and Zabuza should stop fighting, said Naruto, seems like your employer no longer cares about paying the both of you. Haku dispelled the hidden mist jutsu to reveal to everyone a short man and a mob of thugs at the foot of the bridge. Haku soon heard the clacking sound of bones. Soul style, said Naruto as fog rolled in, Zambito Cementerio jutsu. The fog completely enveloped the bridge and was even thicker than the hidden mist jutsu. Haku soon felt a chill as she heard the boy that was there sing. Yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho. 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 Zabuza looked all around the area for the voice, but he couldn't find it. Kakashi was looking around as well to at least try to see what was going on. Is this some sort of genjutsu? Asked Kakashi as the singing continued. Inkusu no seikwo, todak na yukuyo. Umakus kimikus namimikus. Shio no moku oda, yuhi mo saagu. Sora nai wa wo kaku, tori no yuda. Sasuke was trying to see through the Justu with his Sharingan eyes, but saw that he was having difficulties. Yuzume was furious that her weakling brother could pull off such a jutsu. Why is that dope singing? Asked Yuzume as she scrunched her face in anger. Sayonara Minato, Tsumugi no Sato yo. Onto Iku Yudao, Funade no Yuda. Inpa Ginpa mo Shibuki nai Keet. Oritachi Yukuzo, Yumi no Kajiri. Beto froze in terror as he saw a shadow in the fog appear. It had the same straw hat the boy from earlier had and the same blonde hair. He was holding a single blade. Yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho. 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 Naruto slowly slid the blade into its sheath as the fog lifted, showing the thugs that Gato had hired. Single blade technique. Graveyard dance, said Naruto as the sword clicked closed. Blood sprayed from sword wounds on the thugs, as each of them fell over dead in bloody puddles. Everyone was shocked beyond belief. One lone child took down an army of thugs by using a strange ninjutsu and a sword. Clearly the odds were against Naruto, but he pulled off the impossible. Naruto had taken down an army without much effort. Everyone stared at Naruto and soon saw that Gato's head just slid right off, causing blood to spray everywhere. The mob of villagers let out a cry of freedom as Gato's body fell into the puddle of blood. They were free now. At the bridge builder's house, everyone was celebrating their freedom when Naruto saw Zabuza motioning him to follow. At a field, the night air was warm compared to the dread that Naruto felt. Kid, said Zabuza, I want you and Haku to know something. On cue, Haku appeared right beside Naruto with a worried look on her face. I have a rare disease, said Zabuza as he soon coughed up blood, I'm afraid I don't have much time left. Haku, you are now a swordsman of the mist. Zabuza stands up to face Naruto. Naruto, said the dying Zabuza, even though she isn't my daughter, I will give you my blessing, should you decide to be with her in love. Just promise me that you'll treat her right. Zabuza coughed as more blood left his mouth. Zabuza. Yelled Naruto as he unsealed 3 katanas, one in each hand and the other in his mouth. You will not die because of some weak disease, no, you will die by my hands. Zabuza ripped the bandages off of his face to reveal blood dripping from his mouth, with a maniacal smile ran across his face. I like your style, Straw Hat, said Zabuza as he gripped the blade and got into combat position. Warriors do not die by time or disease, no, they die by the blade. The Kirinin rushed towards the Konoha Inn, and with mighty swings, all the blades clashed as Haku jumped away to give the dueling swordsmen their space. Naruto leapt back as a crowd began to form. What is that dope doing? Asked Yuzume, if anyone should fight one of the 7 swordsmen, it should be me. Before Yuzume could interfere, Haku appeared before her and said, this fight is a fight to the death between Zabuza-sama and Naruto-sama. If anyone dares to interfere, I will stop you without prejudice. Sasuke was about to activate his Sharingan, but Kakashi stopped him and gave him a look. This is a fight between swordsmen who trained their entire lives for live and die by the blade, said Kakashi, as he watched the giant cleaver slam against 3 smaller blades. To copy their abilities now would be nothing but petty thievery. Zabuza went for an overhead cleave before Naruto dodged the giant blade. Naruto sheathed the sword from his mouth and rushed in with his body close to the ground, blades crossed, with Zabuza closing in with his blade ready to swing. Twin blades. Falcon swoop. Naruto shouted as he and Zabuza ended up behind each other. Zabuza fell to his knees as 2 large gashes tore from his shins, as the left sleeve of Naruto's jacket fell with blood slowly dripping from his wound. Your skills with all 3 blades are something, Straw Hat, said Zabuza as he stood up, ignoring the gushing blood from his wounds. What do you call that style? Naruto placed the blade back into his mouth and said, Santorio 3 swords. A style where one has a blade in each hand and one in the mouth. Zabuza let out a chuckle as more blood dripped from his mouth and wounds. I feel the disease, Naruto, said Zabuza as he rushed towards his opponent, let's finish this once and for all. Naruto followed as he crossed arms, letting the blades whistle through the wind. For Zabuza, time seemed to slow down as each step the warriors took made a loud, deafening crunch. Thump thump. Both warriors saw an image replace their opponent. Thump thump. Naruto saw a blue demon with a huge bladed kanabo, ready to end his life with one hellish swing. Thump thump. Zabuza saw the very Shinigami before him, ready to end his life by blade or disease. Thump thump. Both swordsmen swung their respective blades in painful slow motion. Thump. Everyone watched in deadly anticipation as the clash of metal echoed through the forest as both combatants stood behind each other. "I wish to know that technique," said Zabuza as the giant blade fell from his hands. "That fell me." Naruto heard the blade hit the wet ground and felt the final breath. "Santoryu," said Naruto as blood slowly ran down his face from the fresh wound across his face, Shinigami's final breath. Blood sprayed violently from Zabuza's chest as the dying ninja fell to his knees. "Thank you," said Zabuza as his body fell forward. "Naruto." Zabuza's body fell into the puddle of blood and dew as Naruto sealed the blades away. The demon of the mist was now slain. "Aku," said Naruto as he walked up to her, "I'm terribly sorry." Naruto never finished his thought as he felt Haku's lips on his own and getting a taste of a cool minty sensation. "I'm sorry Naruto-kun," said Haku after she broke the kiss in a blush, "but even since I saw you in the fields a couple days ago, I couldn't leave my thoughts of you." Haku saw Naruto just stood there with a shocked look on his face. "Naruto-kun?" asked Haku as she lightly shook the blonde's shoulder, only to see him collapse. "Naruto-kun." Naruto soon found himself in his mind with the Straw Hat Pirate surrounding him. "I passed out after getting a kiss, didn't I?" asked Naruto as Robin helped him to his feet. Naruto felt something hit his back and saw Frankie giving him a devilish grin. "Seems like our super host just became a super player," said Frankie as he laughed at Naruto's red face. "Ah, young love. That always bring a tear into my eye," said Brook, "although I'm a skeleton and I can't shed any tears or have any eyes." Yo-ho-ho-ho. Skull joke. Brook's laughter was joined by Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper as Naruto couldn't help but chuckle at their antics. Naruto soon paled as he remembered one key problem. His marriage contract with the Hyugas. "Do not worry, Naruto-san," said Robin as she knew what the blonde was thinking, "I'm sure that a compromise will be settled." Naruto hugged Robin as he said, "Thank you, Ka-san." "That battle with Zabuza," said Zoro as he gave Naruto a long hard look, "was the right thing to do." Naruto turned to face Zoro, his teacher, and bowed knowing that to die by the blade was the only way a true warrior could ever die. "Thank you, Zoro-sama," said Naruto knowing that he made both Zoro and Zabuza proud with this battle. Outside Naruto's mind, Haku had placed the unconscious Naruto in bed, with Zabuza's blade resting upon her back. "Your sensei had told me about the marriage contract," said Haku as she ruffled Naruto's spiky hair. "I am willing to share you, but I am also willing to accept your friendship if you can't afford to share your heart." Haku gently kissed Naruto on his forehead and lied down on the bed next to him as she hummed the song she heard from the battle. She could have also sworn she felt Zabuza's presence as she let sleep take over. The bridge was finished as Team 7 and Haku were heading off to Konohagakure as the bridge builder said, "This bridge shall be known as the Great Naruto Bridge, as it shall be a symbol of freedom and peace." As Team 7 walked towards their home, Yuzume couldn't help but glare at her brother as he was singing that song from the bridge in a more upbeat fashion as Haku was at his side, listening to the song. Kakashi was proud of Naruto for stopping a criminal warlord, but he was slightly frightened by what the blonde had done. Where did Naruto learn how to cast such a genjutsu? Kakashi asked himself as he had never seen Naruto train with his family, only at the academy. Where did he even learn how to use a sword like that? Hey dope, said Sasuke as he interrupted Naruto's singing, "Why didn't you take up their offer of being called a hero?" Everyone was surprised that Naruto refused to be called the hero of the bridge when the villagers had offered it. "You should remember what I said," Naruto replied, "I refuse to be called a hero. There is such a title can corrupt a person, as I have seen what that kind of corruption can do to a person, and besides everyone there waited for Naruto to finish his speech with his words of wisdom. I'm not singing to all those people so a mob of girls can tear me limb from limb," said Naruto as everyone just face vaulted on the ground. Minato looked at Team 7 as Kakashi told him of what had happened. Minato was surprised that his own son had mowed down an army of thugs and took down a criminal warlord, but before he had his doubts, Haku backed what Kakashi said as she had witnessed Naruto's power. "Well," said Minato, "congratulations to Team 7 for a successful mission. Now, I must ask that Haku is to report back to me later in order to become a Konoha shinobi, but I would like to talk to Naruto alone." Dismissed. The office soon became empty with only Minato and Naruto. "Naruto," said Minato with a smile, I am extremely proud that my son took down an entire army and a criminal warlord by himself. I just never thought it would happen so soon. Now, I would like to." Minato was interrupted when Naruto raised his hand to silence Minato. "Pardon the interruption, Hokage-sama," said Naruto as he lowered his hand, "but I would like to keep my skills and power a secret from a lot of people, even from some of the people here." Minato let out a sigh and said, "Your mother and I visited the shrine you made." Naruto's eyes soon became an icy cold glare, and Minato froze a little. "We only visited the shrine," said Minato as he recompassed himself, "you can ask Sakura. Now, why would you build a shrine to the nine-tailed fox?" Naruto's glare hardened at the mentioning of Kurama. My father, said Naruto as he emphasized Kurama's role, died years ago. I am grateful of the friends he brought me when he had died, and they became the family I. Naruto's hateful glare soon softened drastically to a side of melancholy as he remembered Kurama's death. I must be going Hokage-sama, said Naruto as he slowly started for the door, I need to talk to Hyuga-san about the marriage contract. After Naruto left, Minato scolded himself for bringing up a touchy subject. Minato calmed himself down and tried to return to his paperwork, only to see his thoughts blocked by Naruto. I wish I could fix this, Naruto, said Minato as a lone tear slid down his face, I wish to help you feel like a member of this family. Chapter 4. Bonds. Naruto was sitting in Hiashi Hyuga's office at the Hyuga estate with Hiashi Hyuga, the head of the Hyuga clan and father of his betrothed Hinata, and Naruto had just asked his future father-in-law of a possible compromise. What you ask may be possible, said Hiashi with a stoic face, only if both Hinata and Haku agree. I myself see nothing wrong as Haku is the last member of her clan, and once she becomes a leaf shinobi, she can enact the Clan Restoration Act if she wants to. Naruto lightly bowed towards Hiashi, thanking him for his help, and he soon left. Even with a very little emotion Hiashi, or any of the Hyugas aside from Hinata and her sister, Sho, Naruto thought as he walked down the hall, this place still sends shivers down my spine. Naruto was nevertheless happy that Hiashi agreed to the compromise. As Naruto entered the living room, he saw Haku and Hinata chatting on the sofa. Naruto-kun, said Hinata as she got off the sofa and hugged her future husband, Haku, and I have been talking, and we both agree to share you. Naruto soon fell as Haku had tackled him into a great big hug with Hinata following. That's great girls, choked Naruto with his face turning blue, can you let go of me, I can't breathe. Both girls let go as their betrothed was soon gasping for air. Zabuza-sama will be so proud of me, cheered Haku with Hinata hugging, agreed to have Haku stay with Hinata until she was able to get a home of her own as Naruto left the estate. Naruto made it to Kurama's shrine and sat down in front of it. You wouldn't believe my luck too-san, said Naruto as he lit incense and placed them in front of the scarred tree, but I now have 2 future wives. That Haku girl I told you about, well she and Hinata agreed to share me and even Hiashi agreed to the idea. Silence soon followed. I know you're very proud of me too-san, said Naruto as he smiled, even the Hokage is proud of me. But you will always be the one I recognize first. Even if I can't visit you all the time, I still think of you. More silence. Thank you for always being there for me in my thoughts, too-san, said Naruto as he soon said a silent prayer and left. Unbeknownst to the blonde, a red-haired girl with yellow highlights had followed him and approached the shrine. I need to know how that dope brother of mine got such power, said Yuzume as she glared at the makeshift shrine, but you're connected to this somehow. I can feel it. Yuzume left the shrine to follow her brother and saw him slam his feet to the ground. Steam slowly rolled of Naruto before he vanished. What the hell was that? Cried Yuzume as she tried to catch up, how the hell is he that fast? After a few minutes of chasing an orange blur, Yuzume lost her brother and began swearing up a storm. Naruto made it to his team's training ground thanks to his gum style. Second gear with plenty of time to spare and decided to summon some shadow clones and train. His training was soon cut short as Sasuke and Yuzume arrived and began to attack Naruto. Alright, dope, said Sasuke as he threw some shuriken at Naruto, only to miss as Naruto gracefully ducked, tell us who trained you. Yuzume soon rushed behind Naruto with the family sword, Urashinam, and began swinging. That power should belong to us. Cried Yuzume as she swung the blade and Naruto to only dodge gracefully after each swing, now hold still. Feeling that enough was enough, Naruto flashed some hand seals and said, Blossom style. Winged quarter prison fluer's jutsu. Both Sasuke and Yuzume felt something hold them back and saw arms and hands all over their bodies, holding them in place. I believe that's enough, said Kakashi as he suddenly appeared out of nowhere, you can let them go Naruto. Naruto nodded and made the arms vanish, and as soon as Sasuke got back up, he performed the same hand seals that Naruto had done. Blossom style. Winged quarter prison fluer's jutsu. Said Sasuke and waited for the jutsu to appear. Nothing happened as Naruto began to laugh, angering both Sasuke and Yuzume. Yuzume then tried to do the same as she quickly memorized the hand seals, only for nothing to happen again. All of my awesome skills and power belong only to me, said Naruto as he calmed his laughter, although I can teach some of the skills and pass some of the powers, but they belong only to me. Frustrated, Yuzume lunged towards Naruto with Urashinam aimed at his heart, but she was stopped by Kushina, redirecting the blade toward the ground. Your sensei said that was enough, said Kushina as she stared down her daughter, even though you and Sasuke decided to attack your own teammate just because he has something you don't. Kushina then pulled Yuzume up by her ear and said, as of now young lady, you are grounded until the Chunin exams. That means no allowance or use of the family weapons for 1 week. I let Makoto deal with Sasuke's punishment, now you are coming home with me right now, so your father hears about this. Kushina then Shusuined away with Sasuke and Yuzume in tow, leaving Naruto and Kakashi alone in the training field. "Well," said Kakashi as he rubbed the back of his head, "I guess I could train you or just give you the rest of the day off." "You saw, didn't you?" said Naruto as he lowered the brim of his straw hat. Kakashi sighed as he told Naruto about how he watched a recent fight and how Minato had asked him to try and learn more about Naruto's power. "I'm not going to tell you everything, Kakashi-sensei," said Naruto, "but I will tell you about Haki." Kakashi had a look of confusion on his face and said, "Well, Naruto-sensei, tell me about Haki." Naruto chuckled at the thought of a Jonin calling a Genin sensei Naruto, let his hat fall behind his head and cleared his throat. "Haki is a unique ability that anyone can possess," said Naruto as he saw Kakashi pull out a notepad and pencil. "There are 3 types of Haki. First there's observational Haki, what you saw me just do in the fight. Observational Haki is just a series of movement that allow me to dodge incoming attacks as I observe my surroundings. Then there's armament Haki, which not only provides protection as the body becomes armor, but makes physical attacks stronger. I never use it much since I can get protection and power through chakra. Lastly, there's Conqueror's Haki, a literal showstopper as anyone within range pretty much pass out from the sudden injection of fear. The first 2 Hakas can be learned, but only a small handful can possess all 3, so don't be disappointed if you can't use it. No offense." "None taken," said Kakashi as he finished writing down his notes. "I can let sensei know about this, and Naruto he really is sorry about what he has done over the years and wants to try to make it up to you by giving back your title as Uzumaki clan heir." At first Naruto wanted to refuse, but he decided that he should at least let his parents try to rebuild the broken bonds. "Nice to have my title back after Yuzume stole it," said Naruto as he headed towards home, glad that he got what was rightfully his back. At the Namikaze estate, Minato had just finished scolding his daughter about her actions towards Naruto. Minato soon saw his son enter and went into the kitchen with Kakashi following, sitting beside Minato. "So what did you learn, Kakashi?" asked Minato, ignoring the voice in his head telling him to save what his student had learned for later. Kakashi handed Minato his notepad and told him what Naruto had taught him about Haki. "With what Naruto knows about Haki," said Minato before Kushina interrupted him. "Naruto had a long day, Minato, and he's tired, so you can just ask him later when he's in a better mood," said Kushina glared at her husband and Kakashi, but at least he was happy that his title of clan heir is back. Naruto entered his room and was about to get ready for a shower when he saw a small package on his bed and a letter. Naruto sat on the bed and opened the letter, seeing that it was from Kushina. "Naruto. I know that your father and I haven't been the best parents. In fact, we've been the worst as we ignored you for your sister. I've even thought of valid excuses, but they would never work as much as we would hope for. Your father no Minato and I visited the shrine you made for Kurama, the 9-tailed fox, and learned how he was more of a parent than either of us could have been. So, I got you a little something for you to have for the shrine, and I even got you an extra one for you to have with you so that Kurama can always be with you. I know it may look like I'm trying to make up for lost time, and I am, but I am willing to wait for your love. I am also willing to help you whenever you need it, for support and not as a mother, until I am worthy of that title in your eyes, so you can come to me if you need anything. I will always love you. Kushina. P.S. Sorry about going into your room without your permission only to leave this gift, but I needed to give you this without a lot of problems." Naruto set the letter down and opened the package and saw a small onyx memory tablet made of glass with Kurama engraved with red letters and a small red talisman with 9 fox tails entangled within each other. Naruto smiled at the thought and said, "Thank you, Kushina-san." The next week went by fast as Naruto had to deal with both Yuzume's and Sasuke's complaining. Apparently, Mikoto had Sasuke's Sharingan sealed until the Chunin exams, and along with Yuzume, the 2 of them had to treat Naruto for their lunch breaks. Naruto had also decided to train Kakashi and a few other Jonin and some Anbu Haki and learned some jutsus in return. Flashback Jutsu. Naruto stood in front of his students of Jonin and Anbu who attended the lessons of Haki. Even Anko and Ibiki were there as Naruto impressed them with his demonstration of both observational and armament Haki by having Guy attack him. The green-clad Jonin could barely hurt Naruto, let alone hit him as Guy threw punch after punch. "Alright my awesome students," said Naruto as he adjusted his straw hat, "time for Conqueror's Haki." The blonde motioned 5 Anbu members to attack him and what followed was surprising. "Stop!" yelled Naruto as the 5 masked shinobi froze in place and soon collapsed with foam leaking from the side of their masks. "That my students," said Naruto as he saw the stunned looks on everyone's face, "was the Conqueror's Haki. A special Haki that only a few can possess. Much like a killer intent we can send out, this Haki instills fear into your targets and you can use it on a lone target or a range of targets. If uncontrolled, Conqueror's Haki can make a whole army pass out on a widespread scale, but for those who unlock it, you can adjust the range with proper control. Naruto then looked at his students and said, "Who's first?" End flashback jutsu. Naruto did discover that a few of his students did possess the Conqueror's Haki and gave them a few exercises on how to build up their control. Of all people to have the Conqueror's Haki, Naruto thought to himself, Kurenai-sensei's is more intimidating with those red eyes of hers. Naruto did decide to tell Kushina about the Straw Hat Pirates and the abilities he obtained, with the exception of his soul style, and even told her the roles that each one of them played. Robin was his mother figure, Sanji and Zoro were the uncles, Brook was obviously the grandfather, Nami had the role of older sister. Luffy, Usopp and Chopper were Naruto's brothers, and Frankie being his best friend. Kushina was disappointed that the mother role was taken from her, but she was willing to help Naruto in any way possible. Minato was only told about the Straw Hat Pirates, as Naruto didn't trust the Hokage enough with the information about his powers. Naruto did mention that when Kurama had passed on, the demon fox convinced the Shinigami to have 9 new souls sealed inside Naruto so that the boy could get a fresh start on a new family. Naruto was at his team's training ground watching the clouds go by as both Uzumi and Sasuke were jumping for joy as their punishment had ended as Kakashi handed them the tickets for entry to the Chunin exams. Naruto was at the academy with his team and entered the room. "You all better watch out as Uzumi Namikaze is here to kick your asses," said Uzumi receiving glares from all of the Chunin hopefuls. "You just made us into targets," said Naruto as he face-palmed at his sister's stupidity. Naruto quickly sent out a weak wave of Haki to scare the competition, mentally berating his sister for almost making them a target. Naruto then saw the other members of the Konoha 12, Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, Hinata, Kiba and Akamaru, Shino, Lee, Tenten, and Neji. Naruto soon saw a young teenage boy with glasses and talk about ninja info cards. He wasn't surprised at the stats of his sister and Lee, he knew how powerful the two of them were, but what caught his eye was information about him and some kid named Gara. Gara no Sabuku had completed more than a handful of missions, some were high-ranked, and he completed them without a single scratch on him. Can he use Haki? Naruto asked himself, or is it something else? Then the guy with the ninja info cards had info on Naruto and his powers, causing some alarms to go off. Naruto made some hand seals, and some mummy-looking person walked up to him and asked about the hand seals. "Just practicing the speed of my hand seals for when I learn one of those long-ass jutsus," said Naruto as he continued making hand seals, like water style. Water dragon jutsu. In reality, Naruto had just summoned a Blossom clone and sent it to the Hokage about a possible spy within the ranks by the name of Kabuto Yakushi. The first proctor entered and said, "I am Ibiki Marino, and I'm here to welcome you to hell." Naruto felt the killer intent Ibiki sent, and he could tell some of the other hopefuls were frightened by this giant before them. Time for the fun to begin, Naruto thought as he took his seat for the first part of the exams, a lesson in cheating. Chapter 5. Truth and Death. Minato was in his office working on the demonic fiend called paperwork until a fox jumped through the window and landed in front of him. "Lord Hokage," said the fox as the Minato looked at it in disbelief, "do not be alarmed, I am a messenger from Captain Naruto." Minato was surprised, wasn't Naruto supposed to be in the exams at this moment? "The captain is taking the exams as we speak," said the fox, "but he wanted me to send you a message about a snake in the leaves and to keep an eye out for any snakes, especially the albino ones." After completing its job, the fox vanished in a cloud of pink cherry blossoms. Minato's eyes narrowed as he silently thanked his son for the cryptic message. Naruto was writing the answers to the test with one eye closed. "Your control of the Hana no Mi is getting better," commented Robin as she saw Naruto's test paper through one of his eyes and the answers that one of the observers had with the other. "Thank you Ka-san," said Naruto as he spoke to his mother figure in his mind as he finished writing the last answer. Naruto let the eye he placed on the observer disappear, turned his paper over, and decided to take a nap. Let's see if any Hyugas can read backwards, Naruto silently laughed at the challenge he had given to the other cheaters. Ibiki wasn't surprised at the tactic Naruto had used, find an instructor with the answers, plant one his eyes on him, Ibiki still didn't know how Naruto done it and skillfully wrote the answers. He had to let out a chuckle, which scared the other Chunin hopefuls when Naruto presented a challenge that only a Hyuga that knew how to read backwards could do. Ibiki then saw how Uzumi was going at the test after see how her brother had just finished, she was letting her jealousy get to her, making her sloppy. "Alright, pencils down," shouted Ibiki as he released some killer intent, making everyone obey and waking Naruto, time for the final question. Naruto already knew that there wasn't a 10th question, it was just a lie to see who all was willing to risk everything under pressure. "Now," said Ibiki as he drew back the kai, "all of you will have a choice of whether or not to answer. If you decide to not attempt the question, then please leave immediately. If you do decide to try the question and fail, you will be banned from taking the Chunin exams again." After Ibiki's speech, some genin teams decided to back down and left. But first, said Ibiki as he walked towards Naruto in a calm but threatening manner and glared at his prisoner, I saw that little eye trick of yours. Are you going to tell me how you did that? Naruto saw through Ibiki's rows as his torturer had already known about Naruto's powers but decided to help with the entertainment. All shinobi have their secrets, ugly, said Naruto with a level head as Ibiki then grabbed him by the throat and lifted him in the air. Ibiki let out a lot of kai aimed at Naruto, with the boy countering it with his haki as he kept his calm, cool glare. Everyone, including the instructors, felt the intense air as they watched the stare down between prey and predator. More genin teams left at the fear of being close to such demonic auras. The stare down continued until Ibiki relented and set Naruto down. Congratulations, said Ibiki, you all passed the first part of the exams. Ibiki was about to explain the true purpose of the test was, but one of the windows had shattered to reveal a woman with purple hair. That was a great show you two, said the woman as she patted Naruto's head, I'm Anko Mitarashi, I will be your proctor for the second exam. Now meet me at training grounds 44 in the next 15 minutes or your team will fail. Everyone had immediately left as Anko turned towards Ibiki. I was actually wondering who would win that stare down of yours, said Anko with disappointment, but you had to ruin it backing down like that. Ibiki didn't really want to say it, but Naruto was actually beating him at the contest. How can you be the scariest person in the Department of Torture and Interrogation if a genin can scare you? At the Namikaze estate, Kushina was sweeping the house until she heard the front door open. She turned, thinking that it was the twins after failing the Chunin exams, but was surprised to see Minato instead. Is something wrong, Minato? Asked Kushina as she watched her husband enter the living room. I thought that the stack of paper in the office can wait while I think about the old war days, answered Minato, sending a hidden message to his wife. Kushina caught the message and sat next to her husband. I was wondering, asked Minato with a slight hint of guilt in his voice, does Naruto keep a journal of his training or power? Minato had learned from Yuzume that Naruto had some kind of power that he used during the wave mission and from Kakashi when Yuzume and Sasuke decided to attack Naruto. Kushina knew that Naruto kept two journals, one for his private thoughts and the other had notes of his power, but she knew that Naruto wanted to keep them a secret. He does have a journal of his powers, Kushina explained, but he only brings it out when training or when I have to ask. He is very secretive about it. Minato sighed as he really wanted to know about Naruto's power, but he didn't want to risk losing what little bond he had with Naruto. Does he really have that little trust with us? Minato asked himself as he mentally punched himself for even thinking of trying such a tactic. He did remember when Ino had tried to get information about Naruto for Yuzume. Ino had met the Straw Hat Pirates before she got booted out of Naruto's mind by Robin under the threat of breaking her neck. Ino never did try a tactic like that again afterwards. Naruto never did just let anyone view his secrets, you had to gain a lot of trust from him. In the Forest of Death, Naruto was secretly using an enhanced fox senses to search for other teams. Okay, thought Naruto as he recognized a sense of the other teams within the forest, aside from my own team, there are about 4 or 5 teams from Konohagakure, 3 teams from Kumo, 1 from Suna, and 2 from that new Itagakure. Naruto was contemplating that the other team had the traitor when the scent of blood entered his nostrils. Kumo was down a team as the team from Suna had killed one of the teams. Must have been that Gaara kid that killed them, Naruto deducted as he not only recognized a scent of blood from Gaara, but felt some sort of dread from the guy. We have to avoid the team from Suna, said Naruto as he drifted towards the left, something about Gaara doesn't sit well with me. Yuzume was about to argue when she saw her brother signal them to hide in the nearby bush. Why are we stopping Dope? Asked Sasuke, only to get a signal to be quiet from Naruto. Naruto twitched his nose and searched around until he got the scent. Leathery with a hint of oil, thought Naruto as he studied the scent and death. Naruto adjusted himself and performed a few hand seals, sending 3 blossom clones of his team out. Not even after 2 minutes, and Naruto's blossom clone was destroyed by a kunai as a grass ninja appeared. Come on out, said the ninja, I know that the other 2 are clones. The other 2 clones of Sasuke and Yuzume were quickly dispelled as the grass ninja attacked them, and the real Sasuke and Yuzume popped out with Naruto following. Just hand us your scroll and we won't hurt you, threatened Yuzume, much. The grass ninja laughed and launched a bunch of snakes from her arms, only for Naruto to unseal a katana and cut the snakes to ribbons and was behind the grass ninja in a flash. I never would have expected less from the Straw Hat Prodigy, said the grass ninja, as part of her face peeled off to reveal a pale face underneath. Stop with the disguises, Orochimaru, said Naruto as he turned to face Orochimaru, I knew it was you as you have the same snake-like aroma like Anko, but the only difference is that you smell like decaying death, while Anko smells like sweet dango. Orochimaru pulled the rest of the face he was wearing and drew out his own sword, Kusanagi. My spy has told me about you, Straw Hat, said Orochimaru as he swung his sword, only to completely miss. Naruto summoned a blossom clone and handed him the scroll his team needed. "How the hell did you get that scroll?" said Orochimaru as he patted his pockets. "It helps if you know how to pickpocket while fighting," said Naruto as he turned towards his teammates and clone. "Get out of here, I'll slow Orochimaru down." The clone grabbed Yuzume and Sasuke and dragged them out of the area, and the snake Sannin tried to intercept, only to be stopped by Naruto. "You're my opponent," said Naruto as he swung his katana at Orochimaru, only to miss when the Sannin ducked. "As much as I want to fight the Straw Hat Prodigy," said Orochimaru as he successfully stabbed Naruto through the heart, "but I need to get to Sasuke and make him mine." Naruto smiled as he disappeared in a cloud of cherry blossoms. "What?" said Orochimaru as Naruto suddenly appeared behind him. "Double blade technique." "Rashomon," said Naruto as Orochimaru was split in half, only for both halves to become piles of mud. Naruto smiled as he soon disappeared into a cloud of cherry blossoms. Yuzume and Sasuke were on the ground catching their breaths after being dragged through the forest by Naruto's blossom clone. Yuzume took a kunai and stabbed the clone in the arm, only to reveal blood seeping from the wound. "That wasn't very nice, Yuzume," said Naruto as he pulled the kunai from his arms, "and after I got the scroll we needed." Sasuke ran towards Naruto and punched him in the face and said, "Why the hell did you drag us out of the perfect fight?" Naruto got up, rubbing his bruised face, and said, "Because Orochimaru is after you, Sasuke, for your Sharingan." Naruto then built a small fire and unsealed some food he brought. "We better camp here for a while," said Naruto as he took a bite out of the ration bar. "I'll have blossom clones wake us if any enemies around." The rest of Team 7 reluctantly decided that rest was the best option and called it a day. Yuzume glared at her brother with pure hate. "I'll find out the secret of your powers, brother," thought Yuzume as she watched Naruto dress his wound, "and I will make sure that I'm on top." Yuzume soon went to sleep as the three blossom clones began their patrol, plotting on how to get her brother. Naruto finished dressing his wound, but most of it was just for show as Chopper healed his wounds. The blonde then began humming a tune as he watched the stars. Naruto learned of the downfall of what the Shinigami had done to him when replacing Kurama's soul with the Straw Hats. Due to the sudden change of souls sealed inside him, Naruto would adopt certain habits of each member of the Straw Hat Pirates. Of course, having the urge to sing for no reason annoyed him, and his tick to say awesome at any given moment made him feel odd at times. A familiar scent entered Naruto's nose, and the blonde got ready for a fight. Naruto stood there for a minute before four snakes leapt from the bushes. He successfully dodged them, but Naruto soon felt a lot of pain and lightheaded as he received the blossom clones. Flashback Jutsu. Memory. Blossom clone number 4's POV. The other clones and I picked up the familiar scent of a rat. Kabuto Yakushi, the card collector. The other three went to the camp so that the teams can be protected, while the other one went to get the captain. We needed to slow Orochimaru and his lackey down until Anbu get here. I arrived at the camp just to see the other three clones get obliterated by the teams. I was about to warn them about the intruder, but it was too late as I was ran through by a kunai in the back. Damn. Blossom clones number 1's POV. We picked up the scent of that rat Kabuto and charged back to the camp. Number 4 told us to go ahead while he served as a distraction. Number 2 and number 3 agreed to stay at the camp while I got the captain. We made it to the camp when all of a sudden, the three of us heard Yuzume using a jutsu that sent us flying into a tree that obliterated us. The captain is really going to feel this. Then flashback jutsu. Memory. Naruto winced in pain from actually feeling a few of his ribs break, a stab wound in the back, and the massive concussion he took from his clones. He was then yanked into the air by snakes, and the first person to come into view was Orochimaru. "I never knew that you can feel pain from your clones," said the snake Sannin as he took a kunai out and cut Naruto's shirt to reveal the seal on his stomach. Orochimaru's free hand soon had purple flames on the fingertips as the Sannin slammed his hand over the seal. "Five-pronged seal," said Orochimaru as Naruto felt his mind get hazy as he was thrown through the air. Naruto soon felt his body hit something before feeling weak as he realized what had happened. Orochimaru threw him into a body of water, a river or pond most likely. Naruto couldn't move his body as he was in pain, and being in water didn't help as his power was draining. Through his blurred vision, Naruto saw a shadow in front of him. Unable to stay conscious, Naruto let one thought go through his mind, crap. Chapter 6. Fighting Secrets. "Damn it," yelled Yuzume as she held her wounded arm as Kabuto was tending to Sasuke's injuries. No sooner had Yuzume destroyed Naruto's blossom clones, Orochimaru had attacked them. Both she and Sasuke, along with Kabuto, had problems fighting the snake Sannin as he just kept moving around and then bit Sasuke on the neck. Didn't help that Yuzume threw her arm out when she got tossed around and had to get it to pop back in place. "We should consider ourselves lucky, Yuzume," said Kabuto as he carefully examined the weird mark on Sasuke's neck. "Orochimaru could have killed us without so much as a wink." The rustle in a bush caused the three genin to go into alert, who knew who or what would take advantage of the situation. The rustling got louder as Yuzume brought out Arashina and was about to attack when she saw Hinata's team and Naruto. Yuzume noticed the weakened state her brother was in, and she was glad to see her brother weak like that. "What happened to Nai-san?" said Yuzume as she feigned concern, though no one was buying it. "Since when did you care about Naruto-kun?" accused Hinata, getting an appalled look from Yuzume. "You have never cared for him before, so why now?" Kiba set Naruto down and shook himself dry along with Akamaru. "Naruto was lucky that we saw someone tossed him into that river," said Kiba. "If Hinata didn't jump in to save him, Naruto would have drowned." Naruto drowning. Yuzume thought to herself as she saw Naruto's unconscious body, though everyone knew how to swim. Shino took out a spare jacket and a towel and gave them to Hinata. "Yes," said Shino as Hinata began to dry off Naruto. "Apparently due to some condition he has, Naruto is unable to swim. I'm not quite sure myself, but then again, my beetles are not exactly waterproof." Yuzume smiled and feigned joy that Naruto was in safe hands while she danced in her mind that Naruto is weak to water. After a while, Naruto had awakened a little dizzy before getting tackled by Hinata. Hina said Naruto before Hinata kissed him as he soon returned the kiss. "I know that we could possibly die out here," said Yuzume, disgusted by what she saw, "but you think you two could save kissing and undressing each other with your minds. We still have to get through this." Much to both of their chagrins, Naruto and Hinata ended their kiss and headed towards the tower. Naruto saw Kabuto leading the group as he and Hinata were in the back. "Damn it," Naruto thought to himself as he still felt sluggish, "that traitor is here and I'm still too weak to do anything. What do you think, guys?" Naruto heard nothing before he heard Usopp's voice, but something was off. "Naru something's wrong with there's fog eve and we can't see thing," said Usopp as his voice was being blocked by something. Robin also saw should be careful cross out of whack. Naruto tried to talk to Usopp again, but got nothing. This is going to be a long trip, Naruto thought as he continued to follow his ally deeper into the woods. At the Namikaze estate, Kushina was training for a possible attack for Orochimaru. Kushina stopped her assault on a training dummy as she thought of Naruto when a chill ran down her spine. Even though he told me about his skills and abilities, Kushina thought as she remembered Naruto marking certain pages in his training journal, I still know that there's more to his power than he lets on and what his weaknesses are. Kushina returned to her training until she felt a pull in her mind and disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Kushina reappeared in front of Team 7 and Team 8 in the Forest of Death and saw the Genins in front of her, and behind her was the tower that was built inside the Forest of Death. "Congratulations Team 7 and 8, said Kushina as she noted the slight fatigue on the Genin teams before her, more so on Naruto. "You made it through the second part of the exam." Kushina led the team inside the building and gave them a small tour of the facility. "You can relax and do whatever you want until the other teams had completed this part of the exams," said Kushina as she looked at Naruto, "especially you young man, you look like you're about to pass out." Naruto let out a huff as Hinata helped him get to the beds within the tower. "I better not hear you two at it while I'm asleep," yelled Yuzume as an arm grew from her shoulder. "Blossom style," said Naruto before he passed out, causing the arm to vanish. Kushina watched Hinata drag Naruto into a room and decided to check on Naruto real quick. Hinata had just placed her betrothed in the bed when Kushina entered and sat next to the sleeping Naruto. "Something's wrong," said Kushina as she lifted the jacket Naruto was wearing and saw the seal. "Someone put a seal over the original and it's messing with his chakra." Kushina was about to remove it when Naruto woke up and grabbed her wrist. "Leave it," said Naruto, "I just need to rest for a while. Wake me when things are ready." After that, Naruto passed out again into deep sleep. After the other teams arrived, everyone was summoned to a large area that had a giant screen over a large statue of two hands in the form of the hand seal for Ram. Minato was standing in front of everyone with the Jonin senseis and said, "Congratulations to you all for making it this far. Before we begin the final part of the Chunin exams, we will be holding preliminary matches as so many have made it this far. Those who win in the preliminaries will move on to the final part of the Chunin exams, where your skills will be viewed by the visiting kages, daimyos, and fellow villagers." Naruto looked at the other hopefuls and saw that some of them were twitching with excitement and he couldn't help but feel the same feeling through his veins. He was itching for a fight, but he really wanted to turn a certain snake into a leather suitcase. "Now," said Minato as he scanned the teams, "if any of you are not feeling up for the rest of the exams, you are welcome to back down and try again next time." Almost immediately, a silver-haired teen with glasses raised his hand and said, "I'm afraid I'll have to back down. I'm afraid I've spent too much chakra just to get here." After the boy and his team left, Naruto quickly recognized a scent, snakes and death. He's not out of chakra, Naruto thought as he was really itching for a fight now, he's just backing down as to continuating that pedo snake. The Hokage then pointed towards the giant screen and said, "This screen will show two names, those will be the contestants who will combat each other. Everyone else will be on the sidelines with their Jonin senseis." These matches will go on until one person forfeits or is knocked out. The screen blinked on as names were shuffled until two names popped up. Sasuke Uchiha vs Kaiho Tsuchi. Everyone, but Sasuke and a genin in a light blue shirt, went to the sidelines. "So this the first match," said Yuzume as she sent a glare towards her brother. Naruto watched the match as Sasuke charged towards his opponent, who decided to run in place. Kaiho dodged Sasuke's, jumped backwards to get distance between him and his opponent, and then went back to running in place. Sasuke went in for a low sweep, but Kaiho jumped over Sasuke and was now drenched in sweat. "Pathetic," said Sasuke as he studied his opponent, "you wore yourself out with all that running." Kaiho just smiled and said, "Actually, I'm pretty good at my element water and I know some good jutsus. I even found a way to use sweat in my jutsus." Kaiho flashed some quick hand seals, generating even more sweat, and said, "Water style. Water bullet jutsu." Kaiho shot his fist forward, sending a speeding water ball from his fist to Sasuke. Naruto was impressed with the tactic he saw. "If you don't have water, make it yourself." After many water bullets later, Sasuke was able to knock Kaiho into the air and performed his new Taijutsu move, Lion's Barrage, and knock Kaiho out. "Sasuke wins by technical knockout," said the proctor. The next few matches were really one-sided. Shikamaru got a sound kunoichi to give herself a concussion, Shino made another sound ninja's arms explode, a sand ninja, Kankuro, used his puppet to fight for him, a sand kunoichi, Tamari, pretty much tossed Tenten around, literally, and Choji easily lost to the remaining sound ninja when the Akamichi accidentally turned himself into a giant ear. Then came a big match as two names appeared on the screen. Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki and Ino Yamanaka. The proctor started the match, and Ino rushed in with a kunai, only to miss when Naruto gracefully swayed to the left and then gave the platinum blonde a quick, but heavy, punch to the gut. It continued on in a simple pattern. Ino attacks with kunai, Naruto dodges, Naruto punches Ino. Naruto did let the kunai cut him, but he knew something wasn't right. He could see the hesitation on Ino's face. "Why do you hesitate?" Naruto asked as he took a quick glance at Yuzume and then Ino. "You're normally just as bold as Yuzume, if not more or less, when it comes to combat. Why hold back?" Naruto purposely let Ino have a free shot, but she didn't take it. "Alright Ino," shouted Yuzume as she leaned on the railing, "initiate the plan." Ino hesitantly brought out a scroll that had hostage written on it. Ino opened the scroll and pumped chakra to reveal its contents. A small black memory tablet engraved with the name Kurama. Naruto was shocked at what he saw and tried to dispel whatever Jinjutsu Ino had used on him, but soon found that the tablet was real. "Where?" demanded Naruto as he let out some haki aimed at Ino. "The hell did you get that?" Ino slightly faltered under Naruto's threatening glare, but regained her composure. Naruto said Ino as she tightened her grip on the memory tablet, "If you forfeit this match and tell everyone about all of your powers, you'll get this back." Ino hesitated as she dreaded what she was about to say, as tears formed in the corner of her eyes. Naruto's haki was really getting to her. "If you don't, I'll," said Ino as she raised a glass tablet into the air, "I'll smash this into a million pieces." Naruto didn't show it, but he was both afraid and appalled at the audacity at the choice he was presented. No one would dare to do something so low as to steal from a shrine, even if the shrine was for a Bijuu such as the nine-tailed fox. He even knew that Ino wouldn't do such an act, so Naruto would probably forgive her, as long as Kurama's memory tablet was safe. Ino looked at Naruto, hoping that Yuzume's plan did work as doing such an act like this made her feel so vile and ugly. Ino really just want to fight in a close to fair fight with Naruto, but Yuzume was really desperate to know Naruto's secrets. Ino had argued that everyone deserves to have some secrets of their own, but Yuzume wouldn't have it as she shoved the scroll that held the artifact in Ino's hand before the Chunin exams began. "Please," Ino whispered as she threw the tablet to the ground, causing it to explode into shards of glass, "forgive me." Naruto rushed towards the pile of broken glass, violently shoving Ino out of the way, and carefully picked up a jagged piece. "Tusan," cried Naruto as he gently laid the shard down as tears fell from his face, "Daddy." Minato was heartbroken as he watched his son cry over the broken glass that once represented the one who was actually there for Naruto like a father should be doing. "Screw that seal," Naruto thought as he got to his feet and his body began to change. Naruto was now as tall as Minato, and his body was now covered with golden yellow fur, with a tail sticking out of his backside. His hands and feet changed into fox-like paws with the hands becoming claws, and Naruto's face became partially elongate as his human ears vanished as they were replaced with fox ears on the top of his head, causing his signature straw hat to fall behind his head. Everyone stared in disbelief as in front of them was now a 7-foot fox standing on its hind legs like a human with golden fur. Naruto as he got on all fours in a threatening manner and said, "What you see before you is one of the many gifts I got from the family that my father, the demon fox, had given me." Ino was stunned as the brilliant golden fur had hypnotized her and the cold glare that the fox before her froze her with fear. Minato looked at his son no at Naruto as he actually felt so low. I favored a brat as my own son had gotten nothing, Minato thought to himself as he held his tears back, and when he finally gets something from his biological parents, he loses that gift. Naruto rushed towards Ino with his claws clicking on the concrete floor and eyes on the prey. Ino snapped out of her stupor and quickly dodged, but then she felt a stinging pain on her back. She then saw Naruto turn around and charge towards her again. I'll only show you mercy if you tell me who put you up to such a vile act, said Naruto before he slashed Ino's right leg, if not, then prepare yourself for more pain. Chapter 7. Raging Pain. Ino looked at the golden fox before her as it made an offer to show mercy if she ratted out Uzum. Don't listen to that trickster demon, Ino, shouted Uzum, just fight him so we can get all his secrets. Ino steeled herself as she ignored the feeling in her heart. Foxes are known to be tricksters, and Naruto could really just be the nine-tailed demon fox. Ino rushed forward in an attempt to stab Naruto, only to miss as the golden fox leapt into the air and whipped Ino on the back with his tail. As Naruto landed, Ino kicked him in the face causing him to slide back from the force. Naruto wiped the blood from his mouth as he glared at the platinum blonde before rushing her again, this time, scratching her in the stomach. Why did you listen to Uzum when you attacked me? Asked a fox as he turned to face Ino, was it because she's the hero of the village and should be given everything she wants while I get the abuse? Or are you just a simple tool for her to use to hurt me like she did over the years with most of the other students? Or just like my father, you, yourself, are a hostage forced into doing what your heart is telling you not to do. Ino watched as Naruto talked to her encircling her, like a hungry predator. Why did she listen to Uzum? Naruto had never really attacked her straightforward, but opted to counter her moves. Now Ino had 2 lashes from the fox's whip-like tail and claw marks on her leg and stomach. Why did she have to listen to Uzum? I'll give you one last chance Ino, said Naruto as he sat on his haunches and stared at Ino, surrender, and tell me who put you up to destroying my father's memory tablet, and I will show you mercy and a second chance, continue to fight me, and I won't be as forgiving as I will be towards the asshole who put you up to it. Ino hesitated. Should she surrender and rat out Uzum, or get the same punishment as Uzum would? Ino was conflicted between her heart and her loyalty to Uzum, as Naruto continued to stare at her. Kushina was still in the tower when she heard the commotion, and Kakashi had called for her. She went to where Kakashi and the other 2 members of Team 7 and saw Ino and a large golden fox in the arena. Where's Naruto? Kushina asked and Kakashi pointed at the fox as he decided to tell Kushina what had happened. Kushina was deeply upset at what Ino had done to the gift she had given Naruto for his shrine, but she was glad that Naruto had given Ino a chance of mercy if she told him who made her do such an act. Ino was about to surrender when Uzum interrupted her. What the hell are you doing? Screamed Uzum, beat the living crap out of Naruto so we can learn everything about that freak and his powers. Or do you want to be an outcast like him? Ino's loyalty kicked into overdrive and threw her kunai at Naruto, only to lightly cut the side of the fox's face. So you've made your decision, said Naruto as his tail reached into his weapon pouch and got out an orange sphere and swallowed it. I'll show you that all pain can never be fully healed. Naruto stood up on his hind legs as the claws vanished as his hands and feet were now covered in the golden fur, with the fur on his hand, reaching all the way to the floor. His face returned to its normal human shape, save for the ears on his head. What I just used was a special soldier pill called the Rumble Ball that amplifies my powers and giving me new forms of my fox human powers, said Naruto. This is my Tao form, it amplifies my jutsus to where I just have to think about them and I can use them. Naruto raised his arms, causing animal-looking hands to appear from the massive fur, and pointed the palms at Ino with the kanji for fire glowing on the palms. Fox style. Twin Fox Fireball Jutsu. Said Naruto as fireballs flew from the matching symbols on Naruto's palms. Ino barely dodged the fireball as she ducked for cover, only for one of the fireballs to cinch her skirt. Naruto was about to go for another attack, but a sharp pain in his stomach stopped him. Damn it. Naruto thought as he clutched his stomach where the seal was at, that seal must be interfering with my chakra. I need to be careful. Naruto couldn't move in time before he took a kick to the face from Ino. You should have gone to the bathroom before the fight, Ino taunted as she threw a few kunai at Naruto. The human fox hybrid was able to dodge them as the kanji on his right hand changed to chakra and said, Fox style. Fox energy spear jutsu. A beam of energy shot out from Naruto's open palm, and it was a direct hit as Ino was knocked down to the floor. The silent victory was short as Naruto felt the pain of the seal become worse. Ino watched as Naruto clutched his stomach with one arm, while one of the symbols then changed to the kanji for wind. Fox style. Fox whirlwind jutsu. Said Naruto as a gust of wind flew from his palm and pushed Ino farther away from him. He's so powerful. Ino screamed in her mind as she picked herself up, only to see Naruto down on one knee holding his stomach. It must be a side effect of that rumble ball, Ino thought as an idea entered her mind, time to see what a second one will do. Ino summoned 2 clones to hold Naruto in place, using the excess fur on his arms to wrap his palms and hold his mouth open. The real Ino then walked towards Naruto and grabbed a rumble ball from his weapon pouch. "I wonder what happens if you took another one of these right now," said Ino, ignoring Naruto's struggle. Naruto tried to focus his chakra to burn the fur holding him, but the pain from the seal was getting worse as he tried to concentrate. He couldn't even change his shape as the same seal was messing with his powers. "Damn you, Orochimaru," Naruto thought as he tried to physically shake Ino's clones off, tearing tiny strands of his fur off. "Ino, don't do it," cried Kiba with fear in his eyes. "You don't know what a second one will do to him. I've seen it and it's too much for Naruto to handle. Let him go." Ino ignored Kiba's pleas and shoved the soldier pill down Naruto's throat, and the clones closed their prisoner's mouth to where Naruto had no choice but to swallow. "Time to take your medicine," said Ino as she watched Naruto's eyes roll to the back of his head, demon brat. The Ino clones vanished as Naruto fell limp, and as Ino and the proctor was about to check on Naruto, the boy's body began to convulse and grow at a violent rate. Naruto's clothes were completely hidden as golden fur covered his exposed body, and 9 tails grew from behind him. 3 tails had cherry blossoms floating about, another 3 were made of wire, and the last 3 were just bones. Naruto's body was twice the size of the Amanaka flower shop, and just one of the tails was actually able to demolish the statue and rip the screen of the wall. Now complete, Naruto was now a smaller golden version of the 9-tailed demon fox, and with each roar, a monstrous amount of Haki erupted from the fox. Ino looked at the monster before her and realized the mistake by releasing a skull-piercing scream. The monster turned its head to face Ino with emotionless, empty eyes and cocked back a fist. Before Naruto could throw his punch, Guy had kicked the beast in the head and made it relent. "Ryu!" roared the beast as a large amount of Haki launched from its throat, knocking out most of the competitors out. It soon slammed one of its wired tails to the ground and the whole building violently shook and the beast showed off its power. "Ryu!" roared Naruto as clouds formed around him. Ino regained her courage and rushed towards the beast before her, only for it to grab her with its hand. Ino took out a kunai and stabbed the hand that had her in its grip, only for the attempt to make the beast mad. "Raya!" roared Naruto as Ino was assaulted by a barrage of lightning bolts. Screaming in pain, Ino felt her body shake from the electricity and looked into the emotionless eyes of the beast. Now grabbing Ino with both hands, the beast squeezed the small kunoichi causing ribs to break. "Naruto, stop," said Ino as she coughed up blood. "You don't have to do this anymore, I forfeit." Those words fell on deaf ears as Naruto threw Ino into a wall as a sickening slam was heard upon impact. "Ryu!" roared the beast before it started to attack the other competitors. "Why's Naruto attacking everyone?" asked Kakashi as he revealed his Sharingan eye. Minato could only watch in fear as Naruto continued his uncontrolled rampage as the Jonin senseis and proctors began to fight Naruto. What in Kami's name had happened? Minato thought to himself, stunned by both the beauty and the destruction caused by the beast his son. Kushina looked at the rampaging beast no Naruto and saw the terrifying power that one little boy could possess. She saw lightning spark spontaneously in the air as tails appear from the floor and swing around. Kushina soon saw Anbu rush towards Naruto, only to either be launched into the wall by a finger that had stretched like rubber or become pin cushions as storms of senbon launched from Naruto's fur. She even overheard Kiba saying that Naruto isn't in control as the second rumble ball had caused him to lose his mind as he had to hold Hinata back. She then saw the blood dripping from Naruto's mouth and realized something. This form was using so much energy that it was killing him. Kushina steeled herself and ran towards Naruto, hand seals flaring. "Kushina, get out of here," said Minato as he hiroshined next to his wife. "Naruto isn't in his right mind." Kushina flashed the last hand seal as golden chains began to wrap themselves around Naruto's body. "Our baby boy needs our help," shouted Kushina as she added more chakra to help hold her child in place. "Can't you see that his body is tearing itself apart?" Minato wasn't sure about what to do as he watched his son struggle in the chains and more blood dripped from the fox's mouth. Hoping to slow Naruto's rampage down, Minato used a genjutsu to try to put the beast no his son to sleep and to his surprise, his idea worked as Naruto began to fall asleep. Both parents carefully approached the giant sleeping fox in awe and fear. "How do we reverse this?" Minato asked out loud before Hinata approached the Hokage. "You need to get him in water," said Hinata, "his body weakens in water." Kaiho had recovered from his fight and overheard Hinata and took out a scroll. Pumping chakra in it, the scroll exploded as water flooded the arena. Weakened by the water, the giant beast reverted back to Naruto's human form. Both parents rushed towards their fallen son as Kushina pulled Naruto from the water while Minato used his Hokage robes to cover Naruto. Kushina carefully picked up her son and gently rocked him back and forth as she whispered comforting words in his ears, taking him to the hospital. Lord Hokage asked the proctor as he and everyone else took note of the destruction, "What should we do?" Minato looked at everyone and saw the distraught looks on their faces. He then saw Ino in a crumpled heap in a puddle of her own blood, but she was still alive. This is going to be hell for a while, Minato thought as he made his decision. The last few rounds of the Chunin exams will continue, said Minato. I'm going to launch an investigation as to the reason why this would happen and why Ino and Naruto were involved. Until further noted, neither Naruto nor Ino will be allowed into the final part of the exams for medical and psychological reasons respectively. Now, I'm going to check on my son. After Minato had left, everyone looked at Ino as she had completely lost it and then at Yuzume, thinking she had a hand in this. Kakashi went to where the shattered pieces of the memory tablet rested and then studied the destruction. Naruto, thought Kakashi as he looked at the destroyed arena, I wish you can find peace with your inner monster. Naruto walked around in complete darkness as he walked on the Thousand Sunny in his mind. The ship was beautiful, but now there was graffiti all over it with words like seal and restrict that symbolized the added seal on him. Naruto soon found the hallway leading to each of the individual rooms the Straw Hat Pirates had, with the exception that the normal wooden doors were now replaced with steel bars and a fog-like residue. Naruto was then violently pulled off of the grand ship and into the murky water. The blonde struggled, only to see the same writing on him, and he was being pulled deeper and deeper. Naruto tried to change the scenery, but he couldn't as the seal was messing with his focus. The seal was draining his power. Naruto soon stopped and was tossed back onto the Thousand Sunny as everything became clearer. Naruto, said Robin as she hugged the blonde lovingly, that seal was messing with not just your chakra, but our powers as well. Naruto returned the hug, glad to see his family again. Seems like that seal is vanishing, said Zoro as he watched some of the writings disappear, someone had to have removed it. Frankie threw his fists into the air in his signature pose and said, that means Naruto is back to his super self. Naruto was glad that the stupid seal was off as he began to fade. Seems like I'm waking up, said Naruto as his body slowly vanished, talk to you guys later. After Naruto vanished, the Straw Hats knew of what was coming next. Everyone felt that power, right? Asked Sanji, kid must have gone demon. Robin looked at the side of the ship as a large scroll appeared before her. Soon Naruto, thought Robin as she added the Straw Hats Jolly Roger on the scroll, you will have the power of the Thousand Sunny at your side. Naruto has finally went demon from the overload of chakra provided by the Rumble Ball. I also decided that if Naruto was going to lose control, whoever was in his path was in for a lot of trouble. Yes, Naruto will be able to summon Thousand Sunny to his side, but you will not see him until his big fight with Gaara. Chapter 8. Questions and Revelations. Kushina was in Naruto's hospital room, watching his body miraculously heal itself at a quick pace. Minato and Inoichi, Ino's father, had visited to work on the investigation and get Naruto's point of view of what had happened. After going inside Naruto's mind, Inoichi had revealed that Naruto never knew how or why Ino would have the memory tablet. Inoichi had also mentioned that the Straw Hat Pirates had attacked him, mistaking him for Ino, and scolded him for allowing his daughter to do such an act, even getting death threats from them. Inoichi then said that the Straw Hat Pirates had shown him most of Naruto's memories, only for Minato and Kushina to be appalled by their own behavior back then. Naruto, said Kushina as she carefully rubbed Naruto's hair, you've been in so much pain, and your father and I know Minato, and I have never even given you the proper love that you needed. If we had, then maybe Kurama may still be alive, or maybe help you with your powers. Then maybe such a beast like the one from your fight may not have to exist. Minato was sitting outside Inoichi's office as Inoichi was going through what information he had gathered Ino's mind after she had confessed that she was forced to destroy Naruto's memory tablet of the nine-tailed fox by Yuzume. At first, Minato didn't want to believe that Yuzume would plot against her own brother, but if not for remembering how Yuzume had attacked her brother because he had power that she didn't, Minato wanted Inoichi to not just rule Ino's mind, but Yuzume's as well. I should have been a father first, then Hokage, Minato scolded himself, knowing that something like this could have been avoided, then maybe Naruto would not have been in this situation. Inoichi also had to tell his daughter that she had been stripped of her rank and is to have her chakra sealed, as well as pay for property damage. Still, seeing Ino in such a condition was bad enough for her father, but this act was downright shameful. So what did you find out? Minato asked with slight fear and guilt. Inoichi shook his head and said, Ino was telling the truth, your daughter, Yuzume had threatened her to use that memory tablet as a bargaining chip in order to learn about Naruto's power. If Ino had refused, Yuzume would have convinced everyone in her personal fan club to stay away from Ino and treat her like an outcast. Minato was sickened by what he had heard, his own daughter using her influence to use her friends just to get to something. Anbu. shouted Minato as 5 masked ninjas appeared. Bring Yuzume Namikaze Uzumaki here this minute. I don't care if she's eating, training, or even taking a shower, bring her here this instant. The masked ninjas quickly vanished and returned just as instantly with Yuzume. Daddy, what's with the meaning of having Anbu take me from the house and bring me here? Asked Yuzume as she tightened her grip on the towel. Minato pointed towards an empty chair and ordered her to sit, shocking not just Yuzume, but the Anbu there as Minato had never ordered his own daughter. Anbu, said Minato as he continued to glare at his daughter, go back to the estate and look for something on Naruto so that I can get to the bottom of this investigation, and take your time. The members of Anbu quickly left as Minato gave Inoichi a signal to go into Yuzume's mind. 5 minutes had passed as the Anbu members returned with 2 small books. Minato decided to look in one of the books while Inoichi examined Yuzume's mind. Minato quickly discovered that both books were Naruto's journals, as both of them had his name in them. Minato read how both he and Kushina had not just neglected equal training for Naruto, but other things as well, the beatings Naruto had received, how Yuzume used him for target practice for what both Minato and Kushina had taught her even his own birthday. Minato then reached a page that had tears staining it and read the contents. Bune 5. I couldn't believe it. Kurama's dead and it's all because he couldn't regain enough chakra for his soul to live, even with him absorbing some of mine. I remembered how he had looked, blood was dripping from his mouth, his eyes were glassy, and his fur was pale, and I could only imagine that his skin was paler than a Hyuga's eyes. He told me that I was the only mortal he saw as his own kid and truthfully, I have always seen him as a father, more so than my biological father, the 4th Hokage. His parting gift was that he would always be proud of me and that he would always love me and he was able to talk to the Shinigami and got a group of souls to take care of me. I haven't met them yet as I'm still recovering from Kurama's passing, but even though I could feel the presence of the other souls, they had never called to meet me yet. They were probably waiting for me to calm down, I had just finished making Kurama's shrine and meeting the Harunos, very nice people. I still miss you father. Minato had tears falling from his face after learning such a revelation. He continued reading the journal, and even though he had already met the Straw Hat Pirates, he was glad that his son had someone to properly look after him. Minato then reached multiple pages with sketches of the Straw Hat Pirates, and written to the side was Naruto's description of them and their family roles. Naiko Robin was Naruto's mother figure as the description Naruto had given her had fit her perfectly. Zoro was his lazy yet crazy uncle along with lovesick Sanji, who had taught Naruto how to cook. Nami was his loving sister as she helped Naruto deal with his depression. Brook was the grandfather for obvious reasons as he was a living skeleton and he knew how to cheer and sometimes annoy Naruto. Usopp and Chopper were his brothers as they stuck by his side and made him laugh when it was needed. Frankie was actually Naruto's best friend as the two of them would have contests on who was cooler than whom and how Frankie would support him. Both Inoichi and Yuzume woke and saw Minato reading Naruto's journal with the occasional smile and then disgust. Lord Hokage, said Inoichi, causing Minato to snap the book shut and look at him. By the look of Inoichi's face, Minato then looked at Yuzume with a stern face that could even intimidate Hiashi. Do you have something to say, Yuzume? Asked Minato. Yuzume knew that she couldn't escape as Inoichi had seen everything. I'm the one who put Ino up to this, said Yuzume without a shred of guilt. I'm the one who stole from Naruto's little shrine to the demon fox. I'm the one who planned everything. Minato sighed in disappointment at what he had heard. His own daughter had used her friend to get to her brother and risk the lives of everyone just to learn Naruto's secrets. Yuzume saw the disappointment on his face, but then she saw Naruto's journals, one of them was what she wanted. Don't even think about it Yuzume, said Minato as he grabbed the journals, because of your reckless actions, I'm not going to let you become Chunin. In fact, you will be stripped of your rank as a shinobi, your chakra will be sealed, and all of your inheritance will go to Naruto. That means all of the weapons, jutsus, and the title of Namikaze heir will go to Naruto. Yuzume was about to protest, but she felt Inoichi holding her down. Why, father? Demanded Yuzume as she struggled, you saw the power Naruto has, you also wanted to know more about it. I would have told you if the plan would have worked. You saw how much of a monster that. Yuzume never got to finish as Minato had slapped her with disgust on his face. Inoichi was completely dumbfounded at the action as he didn't even know that he had let go of Yuzume. I did not raise my daughter to believe her brother was a monster, use her friends just to learn the secrets of said brother and to desecrate a shrine. Said Minato as he glared at his daughter as she was clutching her cheek, you also risk the lives of not only the other contestants in Naruto's, but the lives of everyone in the village as well. What if your mother and I weren't able to stop Naruto's drug-induced rampage? What then? Minato then grabbed Yuzume and left Inoichi's office, leaving the Yamanaka still dumbfounded at what had happened. He was soon snapped out of his trance when he soon thought about Ino. After the fight, Ino was in critical condition as she had multiple broken bones, most of them were the ribs and back, she was left paralyzed from the waist down, and the electricity she took had messed up most of her nerves too, where Ino would have to relearn most things from simple movement to even vital needs. The worst part was that now Ino will never be able to bear any children, what with those nerves completely fried. Inoichi took out a cigarette from his pocket and lit it. "Sorry Ino," said Inoichi as he let out a cloud of burnt tobacco and ash, "but how can I keep a promise when the one I made it with to faces a shrine?" Naruto was slowly waking up and was hearing the voices of his biological parents. Going demon is always brutal, thought Naruto, how long was I out? Sanji's voice came in as said, about 3 days. Minato launched an investigation and discovered that your so-called sister, Yuzume, was the one behind you going demon. Nami's voice soon entered. After learning how that bitch was behind everything, Minato is going to strip her of her rank, seal her chakra, and give all of the inheritance she got back to you after your fight with her, said Nami, as the others agreed with her. Naruto fully woke up and saw that he was in the hospital with his biological parents at his bedside. "Naruto," said Kushina as her face brightened, "how are you feeling?" Naruto let out a smile as he saw that both biological parents were actually there for him for once. "Naruto," said Minato with guilt on his face, "your mother and I know Kushina, and I are terribly sorry for all that had happened to you. Even though we are your biological parents, we don't deserve to be called your parents until you deem us worthy. We were so afraid of the fox's uncontrollable chakra that we thought we had to focus our attention on Yuzume. But even so, that doesn't make up for the fact that we ignored you, own son, when he needed the love of both of his parents. We have always loved you, Naruto, and it didn't take us until Yuzume's recklessness to see the pain you were in when you became that. You were in so much physical and emotional pain that your body was tearing itself apart and we were too damn blind to see what we were turning our own son into." Naruto watched as both Minato and Kushina were starting to break down and decided enough was enough. "Do not worry," said Naruto with a smile on his face. Both Minato and Kushina looked at Naruto through the tears in their eyes. "I forgive you," said Naruto, shocking the hell out of his biological parents. "It was not entirely your fault that Ino was forced to make me go demon. It was not entirely your fault that no one knew about my demon form. What is your fault is that you never helped Yuzume fully understand her jealousy and didn't help her control it." Minato and Kushina were glad that Naruto only blamed them for not getting Yuzume to understand her jealousy for her brother. "But even though you are my flesh and blood parents," said Naruto, "I see you as my step-parents. You don't know much about me, even though a part of that is my fault, you still love me." Both parents were saddened that Naruto saw them as step-parents, but they were glad that they were still family for Naruto. "That is why I'm going to show you all of my powers and skills," said Naruto as he got off the hospital bed. "Right now?" asked Minato as he looked at his son in disbelief. "Yeah, Chopper gave the okay," said Naruto as he grabbed the clothes his parents had brought, "but he did tell me to go easy for a while. Going demon took a lot out of me." After Naruto got dressed, he was about to leave when he got tackled by 2 girls, Hinata and Haku, causing Minato and Kushina to become worried. "Naruto-san," cried both girls as they hugged Naruto, "we heard what that nasty Yuzume did to you and we were so scared that we couldn't trust anyone that was close to bitch until you gave us the okay." Both girls didn't let go of Naruto until he was beginning to turn blue and saw both Minato and Kushina there. They were about to defend Naruto from his parents until Naruto spoke up. "It's alright," said Naruto as he got up and dusted himself off, "they're with me now." Everyone smiled as they left the hospital as one happy family. In another room, Ino was lying in bed with a full body cast on as her team looked at her with disgust. "Why did you listen to Yuzume?" asked a pissed off Shikamaru. "Why didn't you just give back the memory tablet to Naruto?" Ino couldn't say a thing, not because of the electrical burns on her body, but from guilt. "What has Naruto done to you that you had to do such a thing?" asked Choji as he was equally pissed. The tears burned Ino's face as she couldn't hold them back. "Ino," said Asuma as he looked at Ino, "the 4th Hokage want me to tell you that because of your actions in conspiracy, property damage, and defacing a shrine, you are hereby stripped of your rank as a shinobi and your chakra sealed." Ino didn't want to argue as she remembered what the doctors had told her of the damages in her body. Flashback jutsu. Ino's POV. "I laid on the bed in the full body cast the doctors had put me in. I see bags hooked to me, one with a clear liquid and the other was yellow. One thing that was off was that if I was in a full body cast, why can I not feel my legs? I can feel the burns all over my body, even on my lower regions, thank Kami. But I can't feel my legs." "Good to see you're awake, Yamanaka-san," said a nurse that was near my bed, "although, most of us were surprised that you're even alive at all." I tried to talk, my mouth was dry, and my lips were stinging with pain, as if wasps had made my lips their personal hive. Scratch that, not wasps but hornets. The nurse took a wet rag and very gently dabbed my lips. "Thank you," was all I could barely muster before the nurse noticed that the yellow bag was full. "Takaro," said the nurse as a male nurse entered, "we need to change Yamanaka's bag again." Takaro rubbed his hand through his short black hair and helped the female nurse that called him change the bag. I noticed that Takaro had to clamp a tube before changing the bag. "You should consider yourself lucky, Yamanaka-san," said Takaro as he placed a bag full of urine in a red box on the cart he brought in. "With the damage to your nervous system, it's no wonder that would barely feel your bathroom needs." I was shocked, figuratively, as the other nurse told me that because of all the electricity my body took, most of my nerves were damaged, including the one that told me that I needed to go, and the one that told me to stop eating. What a wonderful combination. The nurses had also told me that I was now paralyzed from the waist down, with the exception of my lower region. I painfully bawled my eyes out when they told me that I would never be able to bear any children, as those nerves were completely fried, and I wouldn't even be able to produce any eggs to be fertilized. I'm an only child, and I can't bear any children of my own to pass the clan techniques and specialties. "We did hear what you've done," said the nurse as she gave me a nasty glare. "You should consider yourself lucky that we have to abide by the code of conduct and that you are in a full body cast, or else we would have slapped every one of your teeth out." "What did I owe ya? That right. I destroyed something from that belonged to a shrine." Naruto had given me a chance to redeem myself from using the memory table as a shield, and what did I do? I listened to Yuzume and smashed it to pieces, and look at where it got me. I'm in a full body cast, covered in electrical burns, paralyzed, I have no control of my bodily functions, and people starting to hate me. Was it really worth fitting in? I've lost Sakura when she started to hang out with Naruto after Yuzume had said that her brother was the fox's reincarnation. I still see her from time to time, but she never talked to me unless she was buying flowers. Look at me, I was a strong kunoichi whose popularity rivaled Yuzume's, and I threw it all away for one selfish little act. I then saw Daddy Kami. Did he look mad? His face was practically covered in venom, but his eyes, from what I could tell, were red and puffy. He told me what the nurses had already told me and what the fourth Hokage plans on doing for my punishment. No more shinobi life for me, although I did deserve everything that had happened to me. Death would have been too light, although Daddy did tell me that compared to what Yuzume was getting, I think even the Shinigami wouldn't even dare go near her. I told Daddy what had happened and let him inside my mind so that he can see for himself. He left after he was finished without an "I love you," but he did say he would visit and help me continue after I'm out of the hospital. I really messed up. End flashback jutsu. Chapter 9. Power of the Straw Hat. Naruto just got back in his room with a towel wrapped around him from the shower he took when he got home and set out his usual training attire: long blackish green pants, black shinobi sandals, dark purple vest, and his straw hat. Naruto was told of what had happened to Ino. If one were to closely listen when he was in the shower or look in Hinata's case, Naruto was quietly crying. "Ino got severely hurt because of me," Naruto thought as he began to get dressed. "I couldn't control myself when I went demon, even after all the exercises Chopper helped me with." Many of the Straw Hats had tried to comfort Naruto, saying that it wasn't his fault, but Naruto just couldn't see past the fact that going demon could have been prevented. "Naruto-kun," said Haku as she knocked on her betrothed's door, "are you alright?" Naruto buttoned the pants and opened the door to see Haku and Hinata, who had tissues in her nose. "We know you're distraught of what had happened to Ino," said Hinata as she motioned Naruto to sit on his bed, "and we wanted to let you know that even if you didn't go demon, you probably still would have hurt Ino. Not as bad though, but in reality, Yuzume should have received such punishment." Naruto was shocked as Hinata would barely wish pain to befall anyone, even if it was Yuzume. "I don't know Hinata-hime," said Naruto as he picked up his straw hat, "although I am planning on how to deal with Yuzume personally, but Ino was just a pawn, an innocent pawn that was involved with this." Hinata and Haku didn't know what to do until Minato walked in. "This is part of being a soldier," said the fourth Hokage as he sat on the chair near Naruto's desk. "I've had to kill pawns myself, innocent or not, it's part of the reality we live in. There's never any rest for those in the military." Naruto did feel slightly better, but he needed to take care of something before he could fully forgive himself. After Naruto got dressed, he, his parents, his future wives, and Sakura were on the training grounds of the Namikaze estate. Naruto had learned that he was allowed to continue in the Chunin exams, as Ino was considered disqualified for having help in her match, and that Hinata had lost to Neji as she was too focused on Naruto, but accepted defeat honorably. "Now you wanted to show us your power?" asked Minato as he looked at the others. He wanted to make sure Yuzume wasn't watching, so he had Anbu make sure she didn't leave her room. Naruto gave Minato a smirk and said, "Yes, and you better be ready." Naruto pointed a finger at his father and said, "Pull my finger." Confused, Minato decided to obey and was completely surprised as Naruto's finger stretched as Minato pulled it. He let go, causing the finger to snap back in place. "That is my gum style," said Naruto as he stretched both cheeks out, "given to me by Luffy. I'm practically made of rubber, so lightning jutsus can't hurt me." Naruto looked at Haku and said, Haku should remember this power. Kushin then saw multiple arms sprout from Naruto's shoulders, making her son look like he had 6 arms. Go ahead and touch them, said Naruto as everyone touched the extra appendages. This is my blossom style, given to me by Robin, my Kachan. The arms soon disappeared as everyone heard Naruto's voice come Minato. Minato used a shadow clone to see Naruto's mouth on the back the original Minato's head, stunning everyone. I can even place the duplicates on other objects and people, said Naruto's mouth before it disappeared, very useful when gathering information or fighting from a distance. Naruto then made an arm sprout from Sakura's body and toss her kunai. Go ahead and poke it, said Naruto, and Sakura did just that. Everyone was surprised as the duplicate started to bleed. The only thing about this ability is that whatever damages the duplicate obtain, said Naruto as he lifted his original arm to show that his arm was bleeding at the same spot where the duplicate was stabbed, I get as well. After the duplicate disappeared and Naruto's wound was taken care of, Naruto then changed into a small golden fox. The girls were awestruck at Naruto's look as a fox, as the only things that were there was Naruto's clothes, hat included. Haku picked up the golden fox and began hugging it, with Hinata, Sakura, and Kushina soon getting their turns. This power was given to me by Chopper, said Naruto as he jumped out of Kushina's arms. I can turn into a human fox hybrid with different abilities for each form. Naruto then saw the grim looks on his parents and Hinata's faces and sighed. Yes, what you saw in that match, said Naruto as he returned to his full human form, was another form, but I lose control as the second Rumble Ball overloads my powers, turning me into my demon form. It's my strongest form, but I can never control it as the overload causes me to mentally pass out. Minato placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder and said, well, we will just have to help you learn how to control it. If we can't, then we will designate someone to be responsible for the Rumble Balls and have that demon form be used as an absolute last resort. Naruto smiled that he now had a chance to tame his demon form. With his spirits up, Naruto then slapped a slip of paper with the kanji for Cyborg on it to his chest and did some quick hand seals. Mecha Naruto, said Naruto as the seal on the paper began to glow. There was a blinding light as Naruto's body transformed into a new shape. Naruto grew taller as his arms and legs became longer, his forearms and hands grew larger as if swollen, and his nose became metallic. Naruto's clothes changed as his purple vest became a red vest with yellow stars and opened to show off his chiseled chest, and his pants became black swimming trunks with the kanji for Metal Fox at the bottom of both legs. Naruto? Asked Kushina as she stared at her son, receiving a nod. This is my mecha form, said Naruto as he removed the skin on his hand to reveal a metal hand under the glove. All that seal did was fuse me and Frankie together, and we fight as one. Naruto put his glove back on and returned to his natural human form. Naruto then let out a sigh and said, my next power is really spooky and creepy. The only ones who know about this power are Anko and Ibiki. Are you sure you want to see this power? Everyone knew that Naruto was serious about this power and that this power could be more than spooky and creepy. There was a good long silence until Hinata spoke up and said, I don't care if that power turns you into a perfect duplicate of us with all of our knowledge or even a walking skeleton, I would still love you. Everyone else showed the same resolve as they hugged Naruto. Don't say I didn't warn you, said Naruto as everyone soon felt like they were hugging a skeleton. Everyone looked at Naruto and saw that instead of his face, they were looking at his skull. Everyone jumped back in complete shock and fear as the skeleton soon started to roll around the ground laughing. You should see the look on your faces, laughed the skeleton in Naruto's voice. Naruto? Asked Sakura as her face paled as the skeleton got to its feet. In the flesh, said Naruto as he laughed again, but I have no flesh. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Skull joke. Naruto took off his vest to expose his ribsage. Haku slowly poked a rib, causing Naruto to laugh which creeped everyone out even further. This is the form I have to use when I perform Soul Style, said Naruto as his skeletal hand began to glow blue from chakra. I am still very much alive, so don't worry. Soul Style? Asked Minato as he continued to stare at the skeletal form of his son. Yes, said Naruto as he poured some tea, in this form, I can contact the dead and communicate with them. The spirits of the dead can even provide me power depending on the location of the fight or the amount of lingering spirits that are still there. Naruto then took a sip of the tea, and to everyone's surprise, none of the tea had fallen out of his exposed jaw or out of his ribs. Haku then remembered the battle at the bridge and asked, what you did at the bridge back then, that was the power of your soul style? Naruto nodded and said, yes. There were so many restless spirits that want Geto gone and provided me the power to not only have a jutsu that couldn't be dispelled, but also the agility to cut all of those thugs down like nothing. Naruto then took another sip of his tea and said, the singing I did was just for fun. "So if you're going to be married," said Kushina as she paled even further, "does that mean Naruto then returned to his flesh and blood human form and finished his tea as he said, there's no need to worry, I can teach this skill as anyone can do it. Becoming a skeleton during the jutsu is just for me and it's not permanent. Besides, I will stay in my human form for those intimate moments." Everyone sighed in relief that nothing too bad would happen. "Everyone else provided the skills that I possess," said Naruto as he got out a scroll and unsealed a blue bow staff. "Nami taught me my weather style and how to fight with a bow staff." Naruto sealed the staff away and unsealed 3 swords and had one in each hand and one in his mouth and said, "Zoro taught me 3 sword style and ventriloquism." Naruto used all 3 swords to cut down a tree and then sealed them. "Usopp helped improve my throwing accuracy," said Naruto as he threw a shuriken towards the leaf symbol on a wall meters away and hit it dead center, "and Sanji taught me the blackleg fighting style, or what I call chef style to jutsu. As it is just skillful kicks, and Sanji told me that a chef's hand are the second most precious things in his life." Everyone was amazed at what all Naruto can do and how long he kept it a secret. "My powers do have a weakness," said Naruto after his demonstration, "sea water." Confused, Minato asked the reason why. "The powers I get from Luffy, Robin, Chopper and Brook are from special fruits, called Akuma no Mi, or devil fruit," answered Naruto. "Those with the power of the sea swim like a rock in sea water and are weakened by a special stone called sea stone." Hinata then asked, "Then what happened when I saved you from the river?" Naruto let out a long sigh and said, "The reason for that is my dear sister destroyed 3 of my blossom clones by launching them into a tree where the 3 of the got concussions, the 4th one was stabbed in the back by Orochimaru's henchman. And then I took a 5-pronged seal to the gut which knocked me out and disrupted my chakra." Kushina was staring off into space after hearing that Naruto is weak to sea water. "Sea water? You went on a mission to Kiri, knowing full well that you could have drowned," screamed Kushina as she gave Naruto that "you're in trouble look." Now," said Naruto as he slowly backed away, "I made sure I completely mastered water walking and wore closed-toed shoes." Naruto was running around the training grounds as Kushina chased him with threats of clobbering Naruto and then grounding him. At dinner time, Minato had told Naruto, who was now sporting a lump on the top of his head, about Uzume's punishment and that Naruto would have the honors of sealing away the chakra. Naruto also learned that Minato was going to have the punishment done before Naruto's match with Neji in the arena. Naruto knew that Neji was all about fate since his father had died when Hinata was being kidnapped, so Naruto decided to fix that in his fight. Naruto then told Minato and Kushina what he had planned for what to do with Uzume. "So Naruto," asked Kushina as she collected the dishes, "why does it take 2 of those rumble balls to send you into your demon form?" Naruto took out a rumble ball and handed it to Minato. "The rumble ball just like a soldier pill," said Naruto, "but it is 100 times more powerful." Minato and Kushina both had heart attacks at the thought of such power. "1 rumble ball actually sends me into energy high as my energy and chakra is amplified, making my body unstable with chakra. That's why I go into my Tao form as I can burn more chakra from the attacks I use," said Naruto. "I can use the other forms that the rumble ball allows me to use, but I have a time limit of 3 minutes. Naruto got up from the table and said, "Dinner was good, Kushina-san." "Good night Kushina-san, Minato-san." Both parents watched Naruto walk to his room, knowing that even though Naruto would be unable to call either of them mother or father, he still showed love towards them. "Tomorrow begins Naruto's training," said Minato as he recalled Naruto's plans for Uzume, "and we are going to help him." Kushina knew that Naruto plans on stepping up his game if he's going to go with his plan and then fight the Hyuga prodigy. "Of course," said Kushina as she looked at her husband, "Naruto is going to get the help he needs if he is to defeat Neji after dealing with Uzume first." Both parents ended the night coming up with ways to help the son with his training. The next day, Naruto awoke to find himself in his mindscape where he saw a giant pair of eyes look at him. "You must be Captain Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze," said a loud booming voice. "You remind me so much of Captain Luffy, yet you also remind me of Robin." "I am Thousand Sunny." Naruto was confused at what he heard. Wasn't Thousand Sunny supposed to be the ship? As if the voice read Naruto's mind, it said, "Yes, I am the very ship that sailed with the Straw Hat Pirates. The reason I myself have a conscience is that when strong bonds are formed, even a ship such as myself can have a spirit. The Straw Hats and I have created what you ninja would call a summoning scroll so that you can use my powers as well as the others to aid you," said Thousand Sunny as more eyes made themselves visible. "Others?" asked Naruto when he saw the other eyes. "Didn't you pay attention to the memories the Straw Hats showed you?" yelled a new voice, clearly agitated. Boss Sunny wasn't the only one built by Frankie. A scroll appeared before Naruto, and the shinobi noticed that the scroll had the Straw Hat's Jolly Roger on it with the kanji for sail the thousand seas underneath. Just sign your name and blood and an imprint of your right hand, said elegant yet intimidating voice, then whenever you want to summon us, just do the seals, or dog bird monkey ram, and then say summoning jutsu, and call out one of our names. The shadow fade to reveal a small sheep in a yellow kimono, a horse in a white suit jacket with its manes and buns, a shark in a dark blue yukata, a rhino in bright red armor, a brachiosaurus in bulky white armor, and a giant lion wearing a black cape with a straw hat symbol on it. Hiya, said the sheep as it playfully waved, I am going marry to. I am Shiro Makuba, said the horse as it bowed in an elegant manner, although I do not like to brag, but aside from Boss Sunny, I am the fastest in our group. The shark soon followed and said, name's Shark Submerge, and don't worry about where you summon me, land or sea is all the same to me with my diving jutsu. I am the great Kurosai Fru 4, said the rhino as it puffed out its chest, there isn't no one thing that can stop me, for I am the great Kurosai. Aside from a ditch, said the brachiosaurus as it scratched its armor belly, I am Brachio Tank. The great lion behind us is our boss summon, Thousand Sunny. Thousand Sunny let out a mighty roar as Naruto watched in awe before a question popped up. Why do only 5 of you have numbers on your bodies? Naruto asked as he began signing the contract. The numbers on our bodies show which soldier that Boss Sunny summons when he uses his personal summoning jutsu, said Shiro, as he pointed to the one tattooed at the base of his neck. Going Mary's also symbolizes that she is the second Going Mary, as Frankie created her as a special gift to the other Straw Hats after the original had passed on into Boss Sunny before reforming itself as Going Mary 2. Should others want to call forth our power, said Thousand Sunny, you are to summon me so I can give that person a test to see if they are worthy of our power. If they prove themselves, they must also provide me their own Jolly Roger, as it is the very symbol of their dreams. Thousand Sunny lifted his cape to reveal each of the Straw Hats' personal Jolly Roger, including Naruto's, a red skull in the shape of a fox's skull, with 9 red tails behind it, with the kanji for maelstrom in between the ears. The scroll vanished as Naruto finished signing it, proud that he has his own summons. We shall leave you to your duties, Captain Naruto, said Thousand Sunny as Naruto faded away, and live your life to fulfill your dreams. Naruto has now demonstrated his power to his parents and told them of his one weakness. Sea water. I originally wanted Naruto to just summon Thousand Sunny, but after seeing the other Straw Hat vehicles I added them. I'm still working the fight between Naruto and Uzum, so it may be a while. Chapter 10. Preparations. It has been a week and a half of Naruto's training for the Chunin exams after Minato announced that Naruto would be allowed to continue. The 4th Hokage also announced that because of their actions, Ino and Uzum would be stripped of the shinobi rank and would have their chakra sealed. Uzum's would be public as she had to fight Naruto before his match with Neji. Rumors were spreading faster than wildfire about what had happened, and Uzum quickly went from Messiah to Pariah faster than Minato's Hiraishin. Naruto also spent that week and a half working on his jutsus and powers as he trained with his biological parents, Jiraiya, his future wives, and the Straw Hats. The Straw Hat wearing shinobi's training was brutal as he could have sworn that Kushina was a complete sadist along with Jiraiya. Naruto was offered to sign the Toad contract but opted not to as he told his family about the contract he signed with Thousand Sunny. Naruto has been trying to perfect his fox forms as well as his mech form in order to get a better grip on them, even through the shadow clone jutsu, as he gains the memory and experience from each one dispelled. Naruto wanted to try other possibilities, but he needed to do something first. 223, 224, 225, said Naruto as he searched for a specific room, aha. 226, just the room I was looking for. Naruto entered and saw Ino in her full body cast with some flowers around her bed. Ino, said Naruto as he approached the bed so that Ino can't see him, how have you been? Ino could see the guilt in Naruto's eyes, seeing how the blonde before her was in slight turmoil. I've had better days when I just broke a nail, said Ino trying to cheer up Naruto, I know it's useless, but I'm very sorry for what I've done. I guess I was just too blind by Uzum to not see how I was acting. Naruto sighed, cursing his sister for causing him to hurt someone this bad. I know that you're sorry, said Naruto with pain in his eyes, but I'm just too hurt to forgive you that easily, but I wanted to apologize for doing this to you. I shouldn't have used the rumble ball, well that seal Orochimaru put on me was still there. It's alright, said Ino, neither of us knew what to expect from the other. I never knew about that power of yours, you never knew of Uzum's plan to get you to spill the secrets of your powers. Naruto gripped the side of the bed tightly and said, but I should have done something. I could have used Haki to end the match then and there. I could have used Blossom style. I could have. Naruto couldn't finish as the nurse present there gave the blonde a hard slap to the face. Thank you, said Ino. Naruto, don't beat yourself up because of this. We both knew that the life of a ninja was dangerous as there were so many possibilities of us getting killed or permanently scarred. That is why I'm going to get through this and try to rebuild my reputation as much as I can. Naruto wasn't sure what to say before he found his voice and said, "But that means you'll be stuck in a chair for all your life, you'll be wearing diapers as a teenager, and you would never be able to stop eating." Ino let out a long sigh knowing that Naruto was right, but she needed to do this as a reminder to not just herself, but Yuzume's other followers, that all actions have consequences. "I can have one of the Straw Hats, Chopper, heal you," said Naruto, "he's my personal doctor, what with him being sealed inside of me." Ino saw Minato at the doorway and saw the look on his face. It was stern, but observant as the Hokage watched what was going on. Relenting, Ino said, "If it makes you feel any better, you can at least heal the electrical burns. Just those and nothing else, I need to go through the rest on my own." Minato lightly smiled that Naruto was going to get some comfort and watched his son allowed one of the Straw Hats to take control of him and heal Ino's electrical burns. "Thank you Ino," thought Minato as he left the hospital, for helping Naruto understand and get some closure. Yuzume wasn't having a bad day, oh no, it was the worst day she had ever had, people giving her nasty glares, talking behind her back, even calling her nasty names on front of her face. She knew that she was going to lose everything to her brother, and it was because she had used Ino to smash the memory tablet of the nine-tailed demon fox. "Who in their right minds would build a shrine for a demon," said Yuzume as she stormed through the village, not knowing her increasing power, that bastard might as well be a Jashinist. Yuzume continued walking through the marketplace until she saw Sakura getting groceries. Yuzume decided to follow the Rosette until the two of them got to Kurama's shrine and watched her light the incense. "I don't know how many times I've said this," said Sakura as she talked to the shrine, "but thank you for helping Naruto. I know you could have just let him die, but you didn't and instead gave him a family that really cares for the baka. I can't imagine what would have happened if Naruto was gone as he's my best friend after I lost Ino to that bitch Yuzume." Yuzume wanted to slit the girl's throat, but refrained from doing so as an idea popped into her mind. Yes, thought Yuzume as a wicked grin crept on her face, that could work. Back at the training grounds on the Namikaze estate, Naruto was training his mech form by having a sparring match with Tenten. "Shuriken right," said Naruto as he launched Shuriken from his wrist before launching his left hand, net left. Tenten watched Naruto's hand expand into a net and tried to dodge it, only for her ankle to get caught. Naruto then swung the captured Tenten into the wall before rushing towards the fallen Kunoichi. "Right," said Naruto as he cocked his right hand back in the form of a fist, cross. The attack connected, only for it to hit a wooden log and for Tenten to end up behind Naruto. "You're open," said Tenten as she unsealed a katana. "Not so fast," said Naruto as Tenten saw that the blonde dodged her attack. Naruto then took a deep breath of air and swallowed, causing his stomach to expand. The ninja cyborg's stomach continued to expand as Tenten rushed Naruto again, sword in hand. "Wind style," said Naruto as the contained air slowly traveled up to his neck, cannon belch jutsu. The blonde let out a large belch as the collected air was released from his mouth, sending a large pulse towards the Kunoichi before him. "Crap," said Tenten as she had no choice but to brace for impact. The blast of air launched Tenten into the wall of the estate. Before the Kunoichi could get up, she heard the sound of an opening latch and looked up to see Naruto preparing for another attack. "That's enough," said Kushina as Naruto helped Tenten get to her feet, "that was a good spar you two." Naruto closed his open wrist and changed back to his human form and said, "Thanks for the help Tenten. I want to be ready for my match after dealing with Yuzume." Tenten dusted herself off and said, "No problem, just make sure you teach Yuzume a lesson for what she had done." After Tenten left, Naruto decided to try something and began to focus chakra toward his feet. Kushina watched Naruto run and jump in the air before a loud pop was heard as Naruto somehow took another step in midair and repeating the process for about 3 more times before kneeling in fatigue. "What was that?" said Kushina as she ran towards Naruto. "Skywalk," said Naruto as he worked on catching his breath, a special technique that would allow me to run on thin air. I can only go so far and so high before my chakra fails me. Minato just walked on the field and watched Kushina help their son to his feet. The ability to run on thin air, Minato thought as he remembered seeing Naruto take the last few steps through Skywalk. "How did you develop Skywalk?" asked Minato. "I didn't develop it," said Naruto as he sat on the bench his biological mother led him to. "Sanji developed it during his 2 years away from the Straw Hats when he got stuck on an island of transvestites. There were some marines that the Straw Hats faced that could do this technique, but they called it Geppo. The only thing different with mine is that I'm using chakra while Sanji kicks the air." Naruto wanted to be able to fight effectively against any opponent, and since there were some summons that could fly, those opponents could easily hurt him if Naruto didn't use the observational Haki. "Well," asked Kushina, "do you know your affinity?" Naruto got out a slip of chakra paper and focused some chakra into it, causing it to be sliced in half. "A wind affinity," said Minato proud that his son inherited his affinity. "What if you add wind to your chakra and go from there?" Naruto thought about it and knew he had to train in elemental manipulation before applying it to chakra, meaning more training. "How about we take a break for today," said Kushina as she looked at Naruto, "you look like you're about to collapse." Naruto decided to lie down and take a nap and let his body rest while he visited the Straw Hats in his mind. Kushina watched Naruto snooze on the ground and led Minato inside the building to prepare dinner, not knowing about what Yuzume has planned, as the girl arrived with a sinister smile on her face. Chapter 11. Legend vs. Hero. The rest of the month went by fast as Naruto found himself in the stadium with Yuzume and Minato as onlookers from the stands, and the sidelines were now watching one of the biggest moments of the Chunin exams. Yuzume's punishment. "Attention everyone," said Minato with a serious tone and look on his face, "as you all have learned, Yuzume Namikaze Uzumaki has committed serious crimes against her fellow shinobi." Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. Her crimes include attacking a fellow shinobi, recklessly endangering the lives of others, and the most serious of all crimes, defacing a shrine. A hurricane of gasps echoed from the stadium as Yuzume showed disgust towards her brother. "Yes," said Minato, "my own daughter had defaced a shrine in order to get at her brother, for reasons that are petty jealousy for her brother's gifts. That is why I'm having my own son, Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki, deal with her punishment himself." Minato signaled the proctor to approach and continued his speech, "My son has declared a challenge towards Yuzume, saying that the two of them shall battle to see who is worthy on the title of heir to both Uzumaki and Namikaze clans. Without further ado, I will allow this fight to continue as part of the Chunin exams." After Minato Hirai to the Hokage's stands, Naruto tossed a rationum towards Yuzume. "What's going on here, dope?" asked Yuzume as she held the family blade in her hands. "We are going to have a little bet," said Naruto as let his straw hat fall behind his head. "If I win, your punishment will still go on, and I get everything that you had gotten that was rightfully mine. In shorter terms, you will be reduced to being a servant who has their chakra sealed." Yuzume looked at her brother with a questioning look. "What do I get if I win?" asked Yuzume with a threatening glare. Sensing her threat, Naruto said, "If you win, you get everything back, criminal record wiped clean, the shrine will be relocated out of the village, and you will get all of my powers and skills, as I use the dead demon consuming seal on myself to seal all my power inside you." In the stands, Hinata and Haku couldn't believe what their beloved had said. Naruto would kill himself and seal his powers inside someone who had desecrated a shrine. The sound of turning wheels grabbed the girls' attention, and beside them was Ino in a wheelchair that was being pushed by a nurse. "Please tell me the fight hasn't started yet," said Ino as the nurse looked over Ino's bandages. "I asked the hospital staff if I could see the fight, and with some convincing, I was able to be here. I want to see that bitch Yuzume go down." "Alright, Yamanaka-san," said the nurse as she went to the side of the chair, "your bandages are fine for the moment, but please be careful of how you move. Do you feel any different?" Ino sat in silence for a moment and nodded her head negatively and said, "I'm alright for the moment, Amaya, thank you. I'll let you know if I need anything." Naruto's two wives knew of Ino's condition and how Ino refused to be fully healed and how she said that she wanted to show those who still follow Yuzume of what could happen. "If you need anything," said Amaya before Hinata interrupted her. "We'll help Ino if she needs it," said Hinata, much to the shock of the nurse, Ino, and Haku. "Look," said Ino with a solemn look on her face, "I'm not sure if I deserve your help after how I hurt Naruto. I'm glad that he visited and offered to heal all my wounds, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to be hanging around him." "Ino," said Haku as she remembered how distraught Naruto was, "let us help you as a way of saying thanks for helping our beloved find some closure." Both Hinata and Haku told Ino about how depressed and upset Naruto has been after learning how Ino got severely hurt because of him. Both wives tried their best to show Naruto that it was how the life of a ninja was and that it wasn't entirely his fault. "I guess I also let him know that everything isn't as easy as they seem to be," said Ino. "I know it will still be long before people start to respect me again, but at least I know that I helped Naruto when he needed it." Amaya smiled, knowing that Ino had already rebuilt some of her reputation back when she refused Naruto's offer to be fully healed and thought, "You don't know how much you've done, Yamanaka-san. By refusing a gift that anyone would jump at, you already gained the respect from a few nurses and doctors." In the arena, Yuzume smiled as her grip on the sword tightened and said, "Get ready to die, you monster." Naruto watched as his sister rushed towards him and began swinging a rationum. Naruto was already dodging the blade flawlessly as he brought out his own sword and began blocking each attack while countering with his own attacks. Sparks flew as the blades clashed until the twins locked the blades together in a contest of willpower. "Why did you stoop so low as to steal from a shrine?" asked Naruto as he stared at Yuzume. "Did you really think that you can do anything without repercussions just because you're a hero for just holding the power that once belonged to the one that I called father?" Giving no answer, Yuzume launched herself backwards, causing Naruto to stumble forward and performed a few hand seals. "I don't have to answer for anything." said the red-haired girl as she shot her palm forward, wind style. Great breakthrough jutsu. Naruto jumped to the side and avoided the blast of wind as he sealed his sword and rushed towards Yuzume. Seeing her brother charge towards her, Yuzume summoned some shadow clones around herself before using a substitution on Naruto. The sudden rush caused Naruto to become slightly disoriented and the Yuzume clones attacked, swords drawn for the kill. Yuzume Thorn Prison. Said the red-haired girl as the Yuzumes collided, running each other with their own weapons. All the clones dispelled only to reveal nothing, much to the surprise of Yuzume as she said, "What the where the hell are you?" Hearing pops of air, Yuzume looked up and saw Naruto jumping on air, as if he was flawlessly climbing it. "You know Yuzume," said Naruto as he floated in the air, "I was always in your shadow, and you flaunted your so accursed idol of hero, it sickens me." Another pop was heard as Naruto gave the air another kick, causing him to keep afloat. "Before I met the Straw Hats," said Naruto as a grim frown formed on his face, "I was jealous of you. I never had the attention I needed, attention I desperately craved. I saw how you manipulated people when you had the other children avoid me like the plague. I would have nightmares of being alone for the rest of my life, but then I met Kurama, the nine-tailed fox. I was wary of him, but I then warmed up to him as he reluctantly gave me the attention I craved for. He was the only one who cared about me, and when he died I felt alone again until I met my new family, the Straw Hat Pirates." Yuzume threw another blast of wind towards Naruto, only for the blonde to kick the air to avoid the blast and kick himself towards Yuzume with an attack ready. "Sky Tenderizer," said Naruto as he began to rapidly kick as Yuzume blocked the assault with Irashinum before Naruto jumped backwards and with a spin in the air, Naruto landed a few feet in front of Yuzume with one leg emitting heat like a fire. "Uncle Sanji showed me how to behave and showed me how to really dish out some pain," said Naruto as he leapt towards Yuzume and swinging the reddened leg, barbecue rib shot. Yuzume braced herself to take the attack, knowing that the demon chakra will heal her, but she soon regretted the choice as the kick had launched her a few feet and caught her shirt on fire. Quickly removing her shirt and revealing the chainmail underneath, Yuzume saw that Naruto's leg was still white hot and said, "How dare you ruin my favorite shirt." Naruto shook his head in disappointment and said, "One should value their lives and comrades more than material things." Naruto rushed towards Yuzume, legs still on fire, and prepared for another attack and said, "Eat this, grill shot." Yuzume blocked the attack using the blade, but she could still feel the heat from the attack and knew that she played it smart this time. Naruto's leg returned to normal as he stood on his hands and spun his legs around while kicking. "Blender rush," said Naruto as he picked up momentum. Yuzume was able to block some of the attacks, but more than a few got past her defenses before she was able to push Naruto back with a well-placed great breakthrough, sending him back a good distance. "You think blades and taijutsu will beat me?" mocked Yuzume until she saw cherry blossoms surround her and saw a pair of arms on her shoulders. "Blossom style. Do clutches Fluor's jutsu," said Naruto as brought his knuckles together. The arms on Yuzume's shoulders mimic Naruto as both of them collided with Yuzume's skull at the same time, giving her a massive headache. Disoriented, Yuzume dropped Rashinam in favor of holding her now throbbing head as an arm sprouted from the ground and threw the discarded weapon away before vanishing along with the two that were on Yuzume. "Come on Yuzume," said Naruto as he stared at his sister, "is that all you have? I barely broke a sweat and those weren't even my best moves." Using his enhanced hearing, Naruto heard the audible growl coming from Yuzume's throat and thought, "Perfect, but I still need to wait for the right moment." Angered, Yuzume then created a shadow clone as a sphere of chakra appeared in her palm. "I'm glad that I was able to learn Daddy's famous Rasengan," said Yuzume as the clone aided her by keeping the sphere's shape. "This will prove that I'm the better sibling." Watching Yuzume rush towards him, Naruto took note that the sphere was uncontrolled as wisps of chakra leaked out and dissipated into the air. "That Rasengan is unstable," Naruto thought as he changed into his human fox hunter form, "but it's still powerful." Before the attack could land, Naruto twisted his body to the side and successfully dodged the attack as Yuzume collided with a wall. After the explosion, Yuzume was launched from the dust and she tumbled on the ground before getting up and holding her arm. In the arena, Naruto noticed Yuzume holding her arm and took note of the damage. Naruto rushed on all fours in his full fox speed form and began his attack, only for Yuzume to dodge some of the claws as her arm was still being healed by the demon chakra. "She doesn't even know I'm toying with her," thought Naruto as he used his tail to whip Yuzume's leg. "I still need to keep this up until that moment, then I can use that." Yuzume was still holding her injured arm until she heard laughter from her brother. "What's so funny?" demanded Yuzume with fury in her eye. Changing back to his full human form, Naruto stretched his arms back behind him and rushed forward. "This," said the blonde as his arms retracted, gum style. "Double lance jutsu." Yuzume quickly got out a scroll with hostage written on it and pumped chakra into it to reveal Sakura Haruno. Time slowed down for Naruto as he heard Sakura sadly apologize before the attack blasted her into the wall. "Sakura. cried Naruto as he rushed towards the falling Rosette. Sakura saw Naruto's blurred form kneel above her and said, "I'm sorry Naruto." Cough cough, she caught me by cough cough surprise. I'm scared. Naruto knew that Sakura wasn't trained to take an attack like his double lance and was seriously injured as colliding with the well just added more pain. Sakura said Naruto as tears formed in the corner of his eyes until he felt a soft feeling on his face. Holding her hand up against Naruto's face, Sakura smiled and said, "I know cough cough that it wasn't your fault, you know what, I'm glad cough, I'm glad that I got to know you for who you are. Now show that bitch who's boss." Seeing Sakura lose consciousness, Naruto stood up and turned to face Yuzume with fire in his eyes. "No more holding back," said Naruto as he became his skeletal self, "I will finish this." Yuzume was surprised that her brother turned into a skeleton, but that soon disappeared as she heard the skeleton speak in Naruto's voice. "Why did you do this?" said Naruto as he slowly walked towards Yuzume. "What has Sakura ever done to you that caused her to become a meat shield for you?" Yuzume quickly summoned another shadow clone, but it was destroyed quickly as a kunai lodged itself deep in the clone's skull. "Your fight is with me, Yuzume," said Naruto as anger showed on the skull, "you cannot escape your crimes forever." Yuzume quickly took the kunai and rushed towards Naruto and managed to decapitate the skeleton. "I win," said Yuzume as laughter escaped her throat, "I win." The proctor was about to call it until he saw the headless skeleton rise up on its 2 feet as a strange mist crept out from the neck and attached itself to the skull. Yuzume turned around and saw the skull reattach itself to the body as the skeletal Naruto turned to face her. "What the hell?" said Yuzume as her fear was boiled by her anger, "How the hell are you still alive?" Naruto said nothing as Yuzume felt a demon's chakra form over her. Yes, Yuzume thought as a fox-shaped shroud formed over her, he needs to die just like the rest of his pathetic little troop. Stretching his neck, the skeleton got into a stance as the demon chakra-fueled Yuzume rushed towards him. "I have to calm down," thought Naruto as he controlled his breathing, "it won't work if I'm too riled up, I am truly sorry that you had to get involved with the Sakura." Yuzume threw a clawed hand as Naruto made it an extra effort to not only avoid Yuzume's attacks, but the shroud covering her. "You know what you really are, Yuzume," said Naruto as he glared at Yuzume, "you are a spoiled rotten bitch. I don't know why you're acting like this, I mean, not all jutsus can be learned by one person. You are a manipulative bitch who is just a rotten little child who throws a temper tantrum if she doesn't get what she wants, am I right?" The added 2 tails proved that the insults were getting to Yuzume as Naruto pulled out his last card. "I will always be better than you, Yuzume," said Naruto, "I am a hero, even though I refuse to be called, such as that very title can turn even the mightiest of heroes into monsters because of the corruption that such a title can bring. If becoming a hero is to become a monster like you are, Yuzume." Yuzume launched a sphere of chakra, only for it to barely hit Naruto as he just stood there in defiance. "Then I would rather be a nobody as you are just a demon that needs to be spanked. Bitch." That was the last nerve as Yuzume's skin peeled and become a mixture of blood and chakra, forming a red 4-tailed miniature fox. "Perfect," thought Naruto as he quickly flashed through some hand seals and said, "Soul style. Garras del Demonio. Telida Rana's Jutsu." 2 giant skeletal hand burst from the ground and quickly captured the 4-tailed form of Yuzume before turning into a web of bone and cartilage as Yuzume tried to struggle free. Naruto walked closer to the web as he performed hand seals and said, "I believe it is time to end this match with what the audience has been expecting, the big finale." After the final hand seal, Naruto took his skeletal hand and touched 7 different spots on Yuzume. The base of the spine, below the navel, a spot just underneath the ribs, the heart, the throat, between the eyes, and the top of the forehead. 7 sealing methods, said Naruto as the spot soon began to glow in a bright blue light, psychic energy lock. The blue lights vanished inside Yuzume and made the sound of gates being locked as Yuzume returned to her normal self. The skeletal hands vanished as Naruto returned to his normal self, while Yuzume slowly got to her feet and formed a hand seal, only for nothing to happen. "What?" said Yuzume as she tried multiple times to mold chakra, but only to fail each time. "What did you do to me?" Naruto set his hat back on his head and said, "I've sealed 7 out of the 8 gates to where you can never mold chakra at all. I only left 1 gate unsealed so that you could live and face your crimes instead of just killing you." Yuzume rushed in to punch Naruto, only for her brother to quickly finish the fight with a hard punch to the gut. "You should have learned to control your jealousy, Yuzume," said Naruto as the red-haired girl began to lose consciousness, "then maybe things would never be this way. Oh well, the estate could use a mate or two." The proctor checked Yuzume vitals and then said, "The winner of the match goes to Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze." The crowd roared as Naruto slowly caught his breath and went over to the medics where Sakura was being placed on a stretcher. The blonde watched the Rosette be quickly, but carefully, carried away so that her wounds could be taken care of. "I did it, Sakura," Naruto thought as the medics vanished. "I took Yuzume down, even though you had to get hurt by me. Again, I am truly sorry." Naruto then looked at the peaceful sky and felt a nostalgic feeling and thought, "Father, I did it. I surpassed Yuzume with my own hands, and with the help of the Straw Hats, I know that you are very proud of me, father, and I will continue to work hard with the help of my friends and family. Thank you, Kurama." So now that Yuzume is unable to mold Chara anymore, her life as a ninja is over, and her new life as a servant begins. Some of you guys have wished the worst for Yuzume, I completely understand, but I really didn't want to do a few of the things. The 7 sealing methods. Psychic energy lock is directed towards the 7 chakra paths of the human body, and by locking those paths, chakra should be unable to form. 2 flower bells. What if Naruto use Emperor Haki in Chunin exams, and thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video and see you guys next video.